Hey, welcome to Tripod's Garage. I usually don't do these improv live videos. I usually have it planned in advance, but felt like doing some soldering, and I just do it live and see if anyone wants to join in for some fun or just poke fun at me. So we'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and get at it. I'll try to respond to chat as well as I can, but my back is gonna be to it. I will have maybe a moderator come in and help moderate the fun. So without further ado, let me switch my camera angle. Excuse the mess here. Still have over here that I'm still working on. But yeah, welcome to the fun here. Hey, John. Hey, Mark. Lightspeed is first. So what I'll do is I will share a little bit later the StreamYard link in the chat. And so if anyone wants to come on in, they can, and just give me some help if you so choose. But I find soldering pretty relaxing, believe it or not. But a lot of people don't. Right here is some of the components that's for the Eggbot droid that I'm going to be splicing and stuff. So this is we won't be worrying about this right now, but we have some speed controls. We're going to be taking all the connectors off right here. Hello, non-fam, Gary T. No fires yet, so it'll be live if it does happen. So I'm going to be cutting off all these connectors. These are old Tamiya connectors. These are just regular bullet connectors that would go onto the motor of an RC car. Very basic controllers. These are actually 60 amp. Let's just go ahead and unplug these from the receiver. So we're going to begin doing that, splicing that, and this out of the way. Don't need a meter just yet. We may not even get to a meter today. But first thing we're going to do is wire the motors. I'm fishing the wires through. I'm going to solder it inside into the motors. It's relaxing as long as the surface mount. I do enjoy surface mount. I do have a video on that, how the surface mount. Through hole is definitely a lot easier. And connectors. Surface mount can be relaxing to me as well. So, yep, not too bad. Caught here. First thing is, this is my good old trusty Radio Shack soldering iron. Power that thing on. I had this thing for probably about 17 years. I even have Radio Shack solder. Yep. So there should be enough wire to wire the whole thing. Let me see if I can get you a higher vantage point here. And turn the light back on. It seems to actually help. What we're going to do is we're going to make a splice into this. We're going to make a Y connector for the two powers to come out. One power going into the battery. And like I said, we're going to start cutting and slicing in here. And see if I can get a good camera angle for this part. Should remove this printer off my workbench here. It is what it is. Yes, Radio Shack, where you just need to get your fix in for that one resistor that you need for a project. You always rely on them. And their electronics catalog was pretty darn nice. I did work there part-time for a number of years and just got tired of it. Believe it or not, it was actually mission-based. And who do we have here? We have Jason. What's going on, Jason?
Hey, What are you doing?
I'm ready to cause a fire. What are you doing?
I'm watching you start a fire.
There you go. Hey, nothing like doing it live, right? Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So
That's a nice soldering station.
yeah. This was back in the day. It was almost $200.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
Mm,
it's programmable.
it's name brand.
Yes, name
Nice.
brand, name, or as we may want to say, name rebranded. But I actually haven't been able to find this under anything but Radio Shack name.
Wow.
We all know that Radio Shack tended to rebrand
Hmm.
their stuff. So. Yep. So I figured I'm gonna be doing this anyway, so I might as well see if I could help some people out in the long run too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, I know everyone else is ahead of me on the build. Well, maybe not. 10 might be my only saving grace on this one.
I
So
don't
he
know.
might.
Jerry's having some troubles. So I think if you can get it wired up and moving, you might be a challenger.
Oh, I may not get kicked off or voted off the island. So
It'll be a close race.
yeah, typically when you're doing a motor, you don't have to tint, as we call tinning the tips. You don't actually have to, but these leads are really small. And it looks like the red is marked on the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to tint the leads first. And when you tint the leads, you still want to see the strands. A lot of people think, oh, you got to glob it on. No, you don't do that. You just want to see the strands. And so a little bit more deep on this. And I typically will use a standard tip that comes with the soldering iron. Actually, this is the original tip that came with it 18 years ago. So as long as you thin the tip before you put it back in, the tip will last you a real long time. There we go. And typically you would want to go from underneath. And I actually like to get the soldering iron going a little bit. And then you just push, solder. That's it. Because if you get the solder a little bit onto the, it'll help with its heat. Just distribute the heat into the wire. And as you'll see, it's just sponging it up. And I have still solder on there, and I put it away just so I don't clean it off. Never clean it off before you put it away. Unless you're going to retint it and then put it away. That prolongs the life of the tip. So does yours, you got some lights and cameras going on there, or maybe just lights, huh? On your bot?
Oh, no
Okay.
cameras. I'm not
You're not upskirting?
not that shady.
Yeah. only tripod is?
Hey, you said it,
I know. That's fine. I'll wear the badge. It's fine. Someone gave it to me.
Oh, you earned it. You earned it.
Okay. Since I already wiped down the tip, I'm actually going to turn it and put it back because I'm not ready yet. See if I could position this where I can see it and you guys can see it. I may not be able to do this on the camera very well. What's burning? Not my hands yet. That's good. Yeah, I should probably disconnect this. It'll probably be easier. But Let's see. This is going to be a challenging part. Yeah, it looks like. Let me just disconnect this. Hoping to avoid that, but it's not going to happen this time. Let's see. Did someone ask for a code? Hold on. Nope. Hold on. Just. Oh, Jerry says he doesn't see it on my channel. I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Now he sees it.
He found it.
Yeah. All right. Oh, too many tabs open in my browser. All right. Let me take off this wheel right here. That's just getting in the way. Likewise, fishing for. Very first one. These are a little right on here. I thought that I cut this rod a little too short. And I'm like, oh no. It was like on the other side, it had barely any room. But I had the rods all the way to the end on the one side. Hello, Jerry. This could use some lube. That's a loud one. All right, this will hopefully be a little bit better. Don't you love how all my film is multicolor?
Oh, mine was the same way. It was gray and orange and blue and green, and it was just whatever I had, left on the spool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was starting to use remnants because I'm like, you know what? Let's just do that.
Yep.
So I'm going to pretend the leads on here on the motor as well. And the bottom one, that's a little. Everyone's in suspense. Oh, don't want to disappoint. I think it's time to replace that sponge. It's original too. But still wipes. It's not like reusing toilet paper or something. You know.
Are you breathing in all that good rosin smoke?
Oh, it's just the best.
It is. It's the best smell. They should make air fresheners that smell like that.
Do you know how much they would sell?
I'd pay. I would pay.
No. I actually got a little bit too much solder on here. I couldn't pick it off. Yeah, these are, the gauge isn't exactly lining up very well. This is a little bit too bad. Needle noses. I have to go and grab a pair. Give me a second, everyone. I'm going to grab a pair of needle noses. I'll make it easier. Hold that wire in place. Do we actually have Sergio in the house there? Sergio, he knows how to solder. Don't you love it when you have family that takes your tools and don't tell you about it until you're looking for them? I used to buy screwdriver kits until every time I found my screwdrivers missing, I'd just buy a whole nother kit. that made them stop taking my screwdrivers. Yeah, I could have Jerry, but what's the fun in that, right? Well, the whole thing is with soldering. Sometimes you have to solder in precarious positions, right? Nothing is always that easy.
I think you'd have a better camera angle, of all people.
Yeah. Well, this is actually going to be the most complicated part, is soldering the motors.
You gonna heat shrink it?
Not the rest of the components, not here.
Yeah. It's pretty far apart from the other side.
Everything else we got. I got several kits of heat shrink.
I have to order some more because I have a few kits, but I always seem to use the same few sizes, and so I've got 1,000 of 2-inch wide.
Apparently, I didn't get enough solder on here because you can see how it's sprayed. So I'm like soldering nothing.
Yeah, liquid tape works.
What's that?
Oh,
Liquid
Jerry said
tape?
liquid tape you could use on there too if you wanted to keep it clean.
Yep. I've never bought any of that before.
Yeah, the liquid electrical tape.
Yep.
It works pretty good.
Much better. That was a good flow. Good flow on that one. So my solder whipped up off my motor into the wire.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to take the I don't know if he wants to take that motor out, Jerry, with having to pull those bolts out of the front gear. If it snaps that bolt or strips, then he's reprinted. Those are carbon, right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's a slow print.
Yeah, it's I may though take it out. It just sucks that you assemble all of this, right?
Yeah.
You test fit, and then it looks like, you know what? We'll come back to the motors later. Let's just do all the rest of the wiring because it's yeah, I'm not a fan of that position on there, so I'm gonna cut these leads off. And we'll just start from scratch. We'll measure out how far they need to go and do those next. We'll just put this temporarily on, see how much room we have to work with, and we'll start doing our Y connector instead. Yeah, I decided I'm going to just go with the two brush speed controllers. And
one for each side.
Yep. And then I'll just use the dual and just use one channel for the dome.
Yeah.
Ever done that? Use wax screw?
Yeah, you can do that. Just hit them on a candle.
Yep.
Yeah. I should have done that the first time.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I should have done, but oh well. All right, so we have one controller. Fire view up here. Gonna have one controller here, and then the other controller on the other side. Keep going out of the way. It's right away. Another controller is going to be on this side, and the receiver is going to be on the middle. Battery pack will go right here. Slide it down. Yeah, but you were saying that you have to keep on removing your Lazy Susan to the battery.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Jerry. It seemed like it was a few weeks ago. Yeah. Well, you know what? I had my motors installed not that long ago. All right. Well, there we go. Cut this little Tamiya connector off. We're going to cut these bullet connectors off. Because you can get a something that could push that out. I actually have that tool somewhere, but it's not worth it to save that much wire. Just slide off these. We're not going to need these. Now, I have a choice here because how many connectors I have. I was thinking about, I'm going to use these for the batteries. These connectors. Don't know if I want to use these or not for, I want everything to be plugged. So going from here to the speed controller, to the motor, so it'll be plugged. And so that everything can be just taken up very easily. And this also comes with the heat shrink, but I have probably 3 or 4 Harbor Freight kits of heat shrink. Hey, how you doing there, Chris? Good luck from Victor. Oh, thanks. That feels so special. So I'm thinking about using the blue ones for motors. Use these. One side is male, the other side's female. And what do you think, Jason? Which one would you want?
Probably either one. Excuse me. They, I mean, they're going to connect about the same.
Yeah, and I'm not going to use these because these actually have a thicker, for a thicker gauge. And this,
Okay. Those are the XT60s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just go with this because you can see that should fit perfectly in here. Oh, it's not the, there we go.
Yeah. Mine had a Dean's connector on the battery already, so I just went with that.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to just eyeball it here. I got enough lead hanging out that I can always tuck it out of the way. So, let's do the other side. Yeah, it's you're like so excited to get it all built and stuff, and then it's like, oh, I gotta take it all apart again. And for these shoulders, I'm only gonna put one screw in on the side because did you glue your shoulders on?
At the end, I did. Yeah. Well, I glued the pins in, the set screws in, and then just screwed it on with the single set screw.
Okay, yeah, because he doesn't Mr. Badley say to just glue the whole shoulder on in this video?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just glued. What I did was I just glued those 4 pins in, and then put the shoulder on with the one countersunk bolt in the middle, and called it a day.
Yeah,
holds on.
Because if you glue that shoulder on, you're never going to be able to get to the track assembly.
Yeah, that would make sense. I'm glad I didn't.
What's that?
I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Glue it.
Because I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, I could have sworn you said it in the video that just glue it on, put your set pins in, glue it on, and call it a day. I'm like, how am I going to get to the motor or the wire, or something?
Yeah. Well, I guess you could pull a pin out of the track and then. Well, no, you'd still have a hard. Well, yeah, you could pull the pin out of the track, pull the bolts out of the gear, and then get to those 2 front mounting bolts on the motor. But that just seemed. I mean, you were going to have to do that anyway if you're going to have to take that motor out.
All right. So this is how much wire I've left to. I think that's plenty for the rest for the harness I'm going to make. All right. No, that's spare. So I get this out of here. All right. So I love that where you're like looking around for where the heck did I put it? Oh. So just a reminder, your red and black are your power, and the blue and yellow are your motor. So what we're going to do is do this first. Now I do have the wire strippers, automatic ones, but sometimes when you use these for just a small amount, it doesn't grab enough. So you can see it just sometimes you can push it down and then do it that way and it'll grab, but
I switched over to these, John, and
oh no, that's nice.
These work so much better than I used to have that one, and it was like great until I realized it was great for everything, but like you said, just those couple things that you need to strip that are a little shorter. And when I switched to that, I never looked back.
Yeah, because here we're only talking a few millimeters to fill that up with solder, and yeah, it's. I'll need it a little bit more. And for just doing these, this little bit, nothing beats just. I like these versus the bigger ones. I mean, I've had these. I can't tell you for how many years. I mean, you can see how old it is, and it still just feels like it's as sharp as the day that I got them. And honestly, I think this is a tool I may have just inherited from someone else. Because now, if we go off of my charger, because we look at the connector, so this has, let me turn off the light on this thing. This are the male connectors in here. And I have a feeling I never actually did these. This would be a learning curve for myself. Live. Well, they did actually have these separated nice and neatly in this kit, and I just dumped them all into one, which I should have never done. Because now they all, of course, they all look the same when you look at them. So yeah, because they have this little ridge along the side here, so when you snap them in, they're in. They're not coming out. Resistance problem, I think, or what? Popped 3 more fuses. Oh. Are you running fuses on yours, Jason? I'm not running fuses on mine.
I put a 10 amp fuse between the battery and the switch, so that way, it was really just for the first time I went to plug it in. If I had anything wrong, it would just blow the fuse right there, and I could yank the battery. But once it's wired, unless something pops loose, but doesn't hurt to have it.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna fill this up with solder. Let's see if the light will actually help any. Again, this is my first time ever using this. So I assume that I'm gonna have to fill this up with solder since there's a hole on the side on here, but it's not threaded. So I assume that you could probably put a set screw in there too if needed, but
You can stick the soldering iron in through that side hole.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do right next. These helping hands do help. You know how many times I'm like, I'll just buy them later, and I never did.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is it for that. It actually worked out pretty well. You can see a little bit on there, but I mean, with these connectors, I'm not going to put any heat shrink on these until I get to the Dean's connectors. Then I'll use heat shrink on there. What do you think? What do you think, Jason? Should I put some heat shrink on that?
No, it's going to go into the connector.
Yeah, so. It's going to go pretty.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It doesn't hurt. Heat shrink is a good thing. It's not always needed, but anybody who wants to put it on, put it on.
This time I'm going to try it a little bit different. I'm going to put it in first there, and then add solder. I mean, it is filling up a pretty big cavity. I mean, with these, let's take a look. Yeah. Nope. So, should have probably done all Deans, but whatever.
Would make it easier down the road if you start with one connector and just kind of keep it the same through anything that you build.
Yep. And we're going to try this way, going in from the side where that hole is. Solder iron in there. And there you go. That's how you do it. Perfect.
Good.
Learn something new. definitely helps having it like that. Easy.
Yeah.
All right, so what's our polarity on here? It looks like the round one is black, which would be our blue. Well, it's still sticking out some. You can hear dogs playing in the living room. That puppy, man, well, she's not a puppy anymore, but this is what it is. I'll say cut it again. Sometimes you have to just say it is it's good as is because you mess around with it more, you just make it worse.
Makes it worse. Yeah.
All right, so now we have the other side. To the nail here. So what's the temperature? Where you in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
What's the temperature there right now?
I don't know. Let me look. It's not hot. It's 78 out with a little breeze. It's pretty nice.
No, we hit, I think like 60 today. Close to it. That's pretty nice for us.
Yeah, for you guys. We have a cousin who lives out in the city there in Chicago, or just either. Well, she moved, so she's either in the city or just outside the city. I lose track, but yeah, she professional bartender. I think she works at a few of the bars, different days of the week or nights of the week, I guess. And,
Yeah, now they're finally starting to open here.
yeah.
And, suburbs, they were just in a nice way. I think we're gonna stay open fully after a little while. Yeah, that's just like anyone get a pair of helping hands, man. It just
That's perfect right there.
yeah, it just works. You do this without it, you're just being more stubborn. That's usually how I am. But not this time. Again, you can always give a little bit of help by feeding it some solder. This one I didn't give it much room to play with.
Nice.
Perfect. Now, problem is this is we have to clean off the solder on the outside a little bit because it is going through a through hole. So we're gonna match this up. All right, black. course, let's give it a test fit for this. Make sure it works. Oh, doesn't want. That's how far down does that go? Oh, look at that. These have to go a lot further down. I'm thinking.
Oh, wait, yeah. You're not quite in there yet.
No. We won't get. We try to keep it G-rated here sometimes.
It's horrible, tripod. Where are you going with that? That was. Don't even say. Don't even say it.
I'm not.
It's almost like we're on one of Sam's streams. This is bad.
Oh. That. Please.
Jerry, if you're still on, have you, if you have a multimeter, have you tried testing your circuit for a short somewhere if you keep popping the fuse?
Yeah, he's also bringing a smaller battery than us too, isn't he?
It looked like it. I don't remember what size it was, but they looked a little bit smaller. But even still, I mean, even with a small amount of current, you can still blow that fuse.
Yeah.
It's just strange though how he's saying it's at first he was saying it was not until he drove, but now it sounds like it might be popping the fuse when he turns it on. So I'm not sure how he's got it wired.
Connector.
Oh, so Jerry, if you disconnect the battery and take a multimeter and set it to read resistance, and take the leads of the multimeter and connect it to where the battery would have plugged into, the positive and negative, and see if you read a short, which it should just give you like a really low reading, or if it depends on the meter that you have, it may make a sound like a beep if it's shorted together. That way you'll know that there's very low resistance.
He send a code? No.
He didn't ask for one.
Because he could just come on and you could help him with that. I mean, this is just a because I was going to do this anyways.
Mm-hmm. He said okay, so I don't know if that's okay, he'll try it, or okay, he'll jump on. Jump on, Jerry.
We're all here to help. Okay, yeah, this is. I may just go Dean's. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I may go just Dean's throughout the whole thing. This is not working out. That is as far down as that one's going. Oh no, it can actually go down further. Wow.
Do you think the solder, maybe the amount of solder that's in the connector is keeping it from being able to get past the little clippy part?
Exactly what I'm thinking.
I've had that before. Usually what sometimes works is if I take a pair of pliers and just kind of squeeze the joint in, and it doesn't always work, but sometimes it'll help it fit back through. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is this is so soft right here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like we're going to be going with these. Get it. I'm done. I don't want to be like spending 2 hours on on trying to get these to work.
Yeah.
Well, it was worth a shot. I'm not.
Excuse me. Well, this was about soldering, right? It wasn't about the connectors. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it is what it is. Now we know that I probably did something wrong with these, but I made sure that solder did not flow into here.
Mhm.
And this was pretty smooth, but this ridge is so fine right here. I think that I just got a little bit too much solder down there.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't watch any videos on it because whatever. Learn as you go.
It's a connector. What do you need to watch a video for?
Yeah.
Oh, now you know.
Gotta make sure that these are the same length. That would just scare people. All right, so these are already marked positive, negative, which is nice, and can't really mess this one up. And this one I will use heat shrink on. So I got this kit. I got this kit. I got this kit. And I got that kit. Oh, actually, no. This is actually a kit that I never even used. This has the ones that you could just heat up.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'll try it someday, but came with a nice assortment of heat shrink. This was one. What's this one? This one. I will just use that one. Let me know if Jerry's coming on, if he sent a code or not.
Yep, here he is.
Oh, he just joined with your code?
No, just yours. Your
Oh.
there. Oh, hold on. There we go.
How's it going?
What's going on?
This is driving me nuts. I mean, I've wired stuff my whole life, and this is driving me crazy.
All right, so what I'll do is you guys can control the camera. If you want to move me on and off, that's fine. If Jerry needs to zoom in, just take control. Okay,
Well, I just wanted to say something. The wiring on these speed controllers is real tiny, like on a fan you'd put on your 3D printer. It's really light gauge wire.
Yeah,
it's not heavy gauge like what John has there. And on one end of the speed controller, it's got two outside wires, which is positive and negative, and then it's got red and black, obviously. And then on the inside of the speed controller, close together, it's got a red and black also. And the two outer wires are the ones that I'm running to the battery. I have a JS XT60 connector. I had some really light gauge wire when I had that fire problem the other day that I had soldered into this. And then I put the 5 amp fuse on it earlier, and I was driving it around the floor for about 30 seconds, and then it quit working and it popped the fuse. So I went to AutoZone. I bought some 15 amp. I put the 15 amp fuses on it. I heated up the solder joint in this XT60 connector, went with heavy gauge wires. You can see it's like automotive wiring. It's real heavy gauge. And I went ahead and I ran that all the way through. And then when it gets up near the motors, then it converts to the smaller wire, which is soldered and heat shrunk. And I don't know why, but every time I put a 15 amp fuse, the minute I hook up the battery, I pop 4 in a row. And I just checked it with my meter, where you put on the where it buzzes if you got a short or something to see if you got a connection, if it's grounding somewhere, like you test a circuit or a light bulb or something on your vehicle. I just checked it on both sides and I'm not getting any beeping. So I don't know.
Okay.
But here, I'll change cameras here. Let's see.
Old curmudgeon. The other Core XY that I like is from 3D Fused. It's their DIY core, and they've got it, I think, in a 300, 400, and a 500 format.
Yeah, the wiring John has there going into the speed controller is real light gauge, like I have on my entire speed controller. And he's got really heavy leads coming out, which I don't have that. But the fuse that I wired in right past the battery here, it's real heavy gauge. And of course, they're both red. I didn't have any black wires. So the fuse is wired in on the positive side. And I just took some random wire out of the garage that I use on my vehicle for speakers or whatever. And I soldered that in on the negative side. And then that goes into each speed controller individually. And then where the wires come out, I take it back. The positive and negative are wrapped together. Both speed controller wires, the red and black, are tied together and soldered. And then each speed controller has a plug, which is a female that goes out to the motors. Or no, I got that backwards. Yeah, the male goes to the motors. The female is the power coming in. So I don't know why I'm popping it. And I'm afraid to take the fuse out of it because then I might catch something on fire again. And then I got to wait till May 1st till other ones come. And here's something really cool, John. I got this. I don't know where I ever got this from. I think a gunsmith or somebody. But check this little thing out. Here's a cool little.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah, it's suction based, right at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't use the suction part of it. It's a cool little vise instead of the helping hands. Those helping hands are kind of a pain in the butt. They, the little wing nut loosened up and they flop down. They're kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, they can be.
But the vise is awesome.
RCCNC has a comment, I think, something you could check for, that one of your speed controllers could be shorted. They could just be bad.
Yeah, well, one caught on fire like a week ago, and then I replaced it. But the second one I left in there. I haven't done anything with it. But and if there's something wrong with it, I don't visually see anything wrong with it. I guess I could cut one out of the system and check them one at a time.
Yeah, that'd be good, because if you had them both wired in and had the fire, just me, I would replace them both, because you don't know if it damaged the other one that even though it didn't catch on fire, it still could have gotten damaged from current or heat or anything else.
Yeah. So I can snip them one at a time, and if I can't solve this problem tomorrow, I'll be on the show saying, "Look, I got this ready," and have nothing to show. But
just tie a string to it, pull it around.
Yeah.
Tie it to the dog.
To bear.
Yeah. So, and a lot of this I use liquid tape on it. The heat shrink wouldn't fit over a lot of my fittings because I put the wrong size heat shrink tube over it before I soldered the joint. So I figured I got liquid tape. That'll work. Just lather that on there and let it dry, and then it's done.
Yeah.
And like this JST connector, I resoldered it, and I just had a knife. I'm sitting there with a knife scraping it all off. It wasn't completely dry in the middle, and I'm trying to clean it up. I was gonna desolder that connection and pull it back apart. And then you mentioned about checking for resistance, and so I was thinking, I don't know what's wrong. Like I say, I know how to solder and do wires. I'll be 57 in 2 months. I've done this 1,000 times. It's not on RC. So I don't know. And then it's got the two little switches that just dangle that go to each speed controller. So I guess that must be for the brake on or brake off.
Yeah, I think that for that one, I think that's just the brake. Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know which way's which. They're not marked, so I just flip them either or. I don't know which way's which on them.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So.
Yeah.
And obviously it doesn't come with instructions, but did it have anything on the Amazon page? Did it show like which leads are which?
No, it doesn't say. That doesn't say much of nothing.
Man.
But they are bidirectional. And when you told me about plugging into 1 and 2, that solved the problem with the right controller back and forth. It was working fine, and then popped. Like, what the hell? I don't know. My project for today and tomorrow was to get all this done and most of the lights on and everything and be ready for the show. And right now, I feel like throwing it against the wall, which I'm not going to do. I got too much money tied up in it. But
yeah, I would suggest you don't do that, Jerry.
Hello, everybody in chat. How are you doing today? I hope everybody's having a great, wonderful day wherever you're at. So,
yeah,
we hope all your electronics are working and all your wiring is safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, when I done those, I just filled them up with solder. I tinned the ends, obviously, and then I completely tinned and filled up the JST connector, and then I re-got it hot and just stuck it in and it was all molten and it was done.
Yep, that's all I'm doing. But I had my positive negative reversed. I was like, wait, blue is negative. So I had to take it out.
Yeah, I have a multimeter, and even though I'm 57 years old, I basically don't know how to use it. I own one. I check things, and when I touch these two wires, it goes beep or it doesn't go beep. It's like, okay, there's no circuit broken, so I don't know how to
Yeah, I
properly
mean,
use
yeah,
my meter.
yeah, yeah. Most people check for impedance and voltage, and that's it. That's all I use mine for. I don't really use it for much of anything else.
Hmm.
I mean, where is it? Mine's right here. And I just basically even you check for heat, and I never even use that function.
Yeah, that's the one I got here.
Oh, is that from? That's not a fluke. That's a fluke, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine's a fluke knockoff. Mine's from
uh,
good old Harbor Freight.
yours is the flake.
The flake.
Here's the meter I got. I've had this forever and ever. Then I got another great big one out in the garage that I can clamp on 220 or one, voltage, whatever. It's Klein, I think it is, out in the garage.
Yeah, mine's I was at Motorola. They had fluke in.
This is Innovo. It's called Innovo.
Okay. Yeah, just testing for voltage. It doesn't have to be,
Here's what I
anything
use it for right
special.
here.
Nope.
You hear that?
And it works. So it doesn't
what I
matter
use
what brand it is. If it works,
Yep.
it works.
So when I just put that on both leads in that mode, I had no beeping, so nothing is grounded out. Correct?
If it doesn't beep, then it's saying there's no short, right? Now you could have
Oh yeah, but there's no fuse in it. I guess I better put the fuse in, that way it can run through the system.
that would help.
Yeah.
I'm sure glad I seen that before somebody in chat did.
Yeah, that's what I have, Chris. The Fluke 87, the 5. Yeah,
Okay, here's my last 15 amps.
it's a great meter.
And it beeps. And it shouldn't beep, right?
Between the black and the red, no.
So something somewhere is grounded. I sure wish I hadn't used liquid tape yet. It's going to be harder to get off than heat shrink.
Yeah, when I was at Motorola, we had flukes. It was nice, but I used to have my original meter that I built in electronics class in high school. All right, so we're gonna we got one connector done. We'll do the next one. This is just for the motors.
Yeah, that's true. There may be reverse protection since it switches polarity for the motors.
Hey, what's going on there, Thomas? You sleeping? Thomas he helped me out a year ago with my under 5 plus upgrade.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been that long since I made that video. It was right before the pandemic, I think. Somehow I hear my computer beeping that I have something connecting and disconnecting from the USB. Someone else's.
Is it your Mac?
No.
Using
the dock from the Mac.
Not
Definitely not the best quality. I mean, that's at least something that's good about it is this USB-C is pretty compatible across both platforms.
Yeah.
And that's only benefits the third party people.
Oh yeah.
As long
Yeah,
as,
we need to kill off. We need to just kill off all the other USB, the micro, the mini, the A. We just need to kill it off and just go USB-C with everything.
Yep.
Okay, I've got the positive lead separated off the main power coming in.
Okay.
Now I just got to do the negative. That way I can check one speed controller or the other.
Yeah, start with the one that that you replaced that you
I don't
know
know
is
which,
the newer.
I didn't mark them. I'm an idiot.
No. Well, then start with whatever one you like.
Yeah. Well, I'm not an idiot, but you know, made you laugh. So here we go.
I'm an idiot.
I got a button for that. There we go.
I think that is Jerry's favorite. Is that the womp womp. Still haven't found that one.
Yeah, I'll tell you the name of it. I just got to look it up. It took me a while to find it. It's kind of hard to make the sound and try to Google it.
Yeah.
It's called Sad Trombone is what it's called. Write that down, John.
Sad trombone.
Yes, that's the sound you want. Ouch.
Oh, just let him go, old curmudgeon. Just let him go.
Who, me?
Yeah, I got gloves for this. They're out in the garage. Okay, it's completely disconnected. And I really don't know if that's the right thing that I want to do to check these. Is that the mode that I want to have the gate this put on? My meter?
Well, what I would do, I wouldn't even bother with that, honestly. I would just take the battery and connect it to one single speed controller to one single motor and see if it works. See if you can control it.
If there's a short, it'll just burn up the speed controller like happened the other day.
Yep.
Since I don't have a fuse in it.
Right.
That has to be my computer because no one else is hearing it. So.
You just guys want to see fire and smoke on TV, and then I can't have nothing to show for tomorrow.
Hey, you know that's what this whole stream was about, Jerry? Was both of us burning shit up?
But John usually has fire extinguishers handy around his 3D printers.
Are you not allowed to cuss at home, John? You kind of mumbled the word shit. Are you going to get in trouble? Get put in a corner or something?
No. You know, possibly. The wife will come in here and start yelling at me. Oh, that don't work.
Well, I'll tell you guys, once you get them all connected and up and running, it really is fun driving these things around. I've been having lots of fun. Nothing? No one?
What's your name?
I felt that look from Jerry though. That was pretty it was pretty rough.
No, I was just taking a drink.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't have with me right now is a drink.
God, I don't want to do that. It defeats the whole purpose of the fuse if I hook this up directly and it smokes it. And then I got to wait till May 1st on other ones. Like
Jerry, I've got extras. You can have one. I've got extras.
This takes two.
And no, I've got a dual channel that you can have. You only need one for the two motors, and then you can take a single one and drive it to the the dome motor.
The 4-pack that you listed that's got wires on it. Okay, I ordered the 4-pack. I'm gonna have 3 extra when they come on the first. No, yes. It ticks me off that I ordered them. They said it'll be here Friday. It's like, oh man, our streaming's Friday. Then it said it'll be here Wednesday. It's like, cool. I have time to build it. Now they say, oh, it's going to be May 1st. Bastard.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, come on. It's Amazon. What's going on here?
No, they did that to me. I ordered a few things where if I ordered one, it would come the next day. If I ordered 3, it wouldn't come till like 4 days later. So I ordered 1, and then I did a separate order for 2 more. And then they said, okay, next day for 1, and the other 2 will come on Sunday, whatever. the next day they said, oh, they'll all just come on Thursday or Friday.
That happened when I ordered my balls. They said all my balls were going to come at this other day, so I ordered my balls separately, and then when I got them.
I hate it when my balls don't show up with the rest of my stuff.
It's bad when you need them and just don't have them. Yeah. Old Curmudgeon, it's they're not super fast. It's a 24-to-1 to 1 motor, so they're quick but not super fast. I saw that Mr. Badley was trying out some faster motors with a 14.4, I think, battery, and that thing was zipping around until he burned out a motor. So I don't know if he's going to try to figure that out or if he's just going to leave that one alone. But these move pretty good.
Chris Travis, that's awesome. Somebody had asked me in chat today if it stained my vat when I went to clean it. I still got that blue ink in there. I haven't taken it out, so I don't know if it's going to stain the vat or not. But it should be fine because it's diluted so much. Yeah, that time lapse, Chris, that was over 300 pictures to make that quick little time lapse of it coming up. That's why I went back down and came up again. It's like, that's too fast. It's group, it's done. So I went up, down, up.
What was cool about that time lapse, Jerry, is it looked like the bottom was just glowing, around it.
Yeah,
it looked like it was like a lava.
Yeah, that was the UV light lighting up that green, that blue. It really looked cool.
Yeah, that was a really good effect. But I'm sure you find it that way.
I don't know anything about DSLRs. In my first attempt, I had it on automatic, and the flash came on, and it took over 300 pictures with the flash on. So when I tried to render it and put it together, it looked terrible. So then I retaped it with that. Anyway, then I done another video. That's when I done the 2 skulls. And then one of them didn't come out dark enough. It's like, okay, I'm going to print another one. I'll put more ink in. And that's why it popped up like that. But I think I should have started the video where I was on camera like I normally do and say, I've got a DSLR. I've got a resin lapse cable. And I've got a resin printer. Let's make something. And I should have done something like that, and I didn't do it. I just started out working with my hands. My wife says, I don't like your videos when I just see your hands and you're not on screen. Well, whatever.
Whatever, wife.
So.
Whatever, wife.
Say it louder, John. Say it louder.
She's wearing her AirPods. I'm safe for right now until she's on watching. She's not really like that, Jerry, but okay.
Oh yeah, Chris, autofocus will kill it for sure as that print head's moving around. Yep.
How far did John get? Well, he got 2 connectors done in an hour. Oh, okay. That's fantastic.
Oh, we're used to that. We're used to that pace with you, John.
I know. Perfection.
When I put my positive and negative leads on here, I'm not getting a beeping on the 1-speed controller. When I go to the other one, I've got a problem with this one. So let me try a couple different things here. So either this one is wired wrong or it's bad.
Oh, but look at that. It's like perfection, though.
It's beautiful, John.
Isn't it?
Like 65% professional.
I was aiming for 45, so thank you.
Oh, hey. I'll give it a 70. We'll go 70.
Oh, wow.
We'll grade you on a curve.
Okay, well, that's what's happening in the school system anyways. So.
Considering that, Jerry's is just burning up, we'll give you a 70.
Okay. If mine is working and Jerry's isn't, he's going to be just pissed off at me the whole because he's always ahead.
Ron is always behind everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then DeWitt Tim, I think he just went out and spent way too much money. He got carried away when he bought parts.
Well, that's good. Then he's got extra stuff for anything else he wants to build. So
yeah,
that's the good thing. That's kind of the double edge of that sword, right? So you don't need 8 of something. You need 1, but you can only buy 8 pack. But then you've got them for something else. Do you build something or not? Then that's more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like our next project is this entire drivetrain. So do we spend all this money all over, or do we just take our bot apart and say, "Ta-da! Look, I'm already got it built."
No, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do another one. I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna do another one too.
I took apart the Tito for the receiver for this one.
Yeah. Because I bought 4 motors when I ordered from Palolu, so I've got the motors already. Yeah.
I never did get Tito driving properly. I just set him on the shelf and moved on.
Oh no.
So,
Poor Tito.
yeah. And I wonder when I, what do you call it? When you just get a new receiver, and when I bound it to the controller, and then it just started working, I wonder if it automatically went to channel 3, since I already had the other 2 robots programmed on that, because it just started working the minute I turned on the receiver. So I wonder if it automatically jumped to the 3rd channel or how that works. I don't know.
Well,
It's whatever one you're plugged into, right? So because they're all working. It just depends on which one your component is connected to, that, and then how your controller is sending the signal to that channel.
Yeah. So then, okay, because I haven't went to the screen and set up their controller yet at all with your specs that you posted what you did. I haven't done any of that yet.
Okay. Now mine is for a dual channel receiver. I don't know if it's going to be the same for you with them having split out. So you might want to check what John has his set up to, since he's going to wire his probably very similar, if not the same, to you.
I need to take a marker and put an X or something on this to know which one's screwed up, or I'll forget.
There shouldn't be any mixing for this because you're running 2 separate speed controls.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that no mixing is involved unless you want to run. So the mixing is if you're just doing one side.
Well, you're still going to have to mix each channel, right, John? Because you've got to reverse it when you tell it to go backwards, or when you tell it to turn.
Depends. Okay, so it depends. This is the way I'm looking at the receiver, right?
Okay.
It depends if you're doing tank, right? Up and down.
Okay. Right.
Because your speed control is forward, backward, right? Or if you're going to do that.
So
and
mine's
your
set up.
dome will be like this or something.
Okay, so mine's set up so that your knob on the right, when you go left and right, is channel 1, up and down is channel 2, and then I've got on the left side, up and down is channel 4. That's how I've set up the sticks. Now that controller, I don't think it specifically says tank mode, so you got to set the sticks and then turn on Avalon or Averon or whatever, Avion, whatever the mode is. I know, right?
Aileron?
So
Aileron?
not aileron. No, it's called some. I'll just grab mine.
When I plugged mine in before it popped the fuse, I had forward, back, left, right with the right stick, and I hadn't programmed anything.
Okay.
It seemed to be working properly.
So
and I started to put a smile on my face, and then it popped, then it quit working.
Elevon. That's it. Elevon is the one that I'm using. Yeah, there's Elevon and V-Tail on this controller, so I'm using the Elevon. Oh yeah, and I've got switches programmed for things, but
yeah, Chris Travis, I turned off autofocus after the first screw up. So when you've seen the video, I had it on manual focus, and I realized that lens that comes with that camera stock can't zoom in all that far. And it was on manual focus, and I didn't change the white balance or do anything with the DSLR. That's how that video came out. I had the only light in the room. I had 2 LEDs on the ceiling in the room. That's the normal light that I have out there. I didn't put a light ring or anything on it. And then once I'd done my video editing, I was able to zoom in even closer for the video, which was really cool. I didn't have to.
Yeah, it's nice since you're using picture mode, Jerry, versus you could zoom in on it and not lose any quality, basically.
I zoomed in with the lens, but you mean I can go further than that?
Yeah, because think about how many megapixels. 1080p is 1080 by or 1920 by 1080, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And look at the size of your pictures.
Well, yeah, they were over 5 megs, like 5.5 megs, and there's over
What's
300
what's a
pictures.
megapixel on your camera? How many megapixels?
18, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what's the dimension size, but that's well above 1080p.
Well, when I bought the camera used, I didn't want to get something with only a 10 megapixel used camera. I figured I want to get something that's fairly recent, and then the guy had a great deal for the 18 megapixel on
You could
Amazon.
probably do like, I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there. You could probably do you could probably zoom in on it at least 5-6 times and not lose any quality over 1080p.
Here's my next thing. Since the speed controller is buzzing, the older one, right? That means there's something wrong with it. I'm taking off the 2 wires that go to the motor on the right side right here, and then I'm going to check the motor itself to see if it buzzes when I hook up the connectors on it. That way I'll know if there's a problem at the motor or the wires where they're soldered to the motor.
Okay.
So if it doesn't beep, then it's the speed controller's a problem. Because it beeps going into the speed controller, right?
Well, a motor will beep.
It'd be like a hum type.
Yeah.
No, when I'm in that mode, on the one side it didn't beep, on the other side it did. So we determine it's probably the speed controller. The battery wires that hook up the speed controller, positive and negative. When I hooked up the black and the red, I have a beep.
Okay.
And on the other speed controller, it didn't beep.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we thought I had a short.
Right, but what I'm saying is, I thought you said you were going to just check direct to the motor.
Yeah, I am. On the speed
Okay.
controller that we think is bad to see if the beeping is being
Gotcha.
caused by the speed controller or if it's something further on down the line.
I gotcha. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Is that correct?
That's why I was saying maybe. I think the motors will be. Well, let's just check them. Let's find out. Can't hurt to check.
Well, like I say, the one side didn't beep going to the left side, but the right side did. So,
Well, that was through the speed controller, though, right?
yes.
Okay, yeah. Direct to the motor, though. Check each motor, and if they're the same, then it's probably fine.
I'm just going to clip that. It'll be simpler than unsoldering it. Well, no. You're going to be on streaming for a few minutes, right?
Yep, something like that. Because I just messed up myself and grabbed the wrong connector. So, yeah, it'll be a little while.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Yes, the motor should have continuity. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're going to beep no matter what?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
They should. There should, and then there's what happens. So we'll find out.
Yeah, and what should happen, love it. Had 2 connectors out.
What the hell?
I grabbed the wrong one. Like, I'm cruising along.
Yeah, because you're going to read something in those windings. What's that, John?
I grabbed the wrong connector when I put it on here.
Oh.
Oh, this new soldering gun I bought is called a Tiswall. It's an awesome little soldering iron. It heats up like wham, bam, done that quick. It's really cool.
Nice.
I had like a pen before that I was using that kind of burned out on me. So I bought I read a bunch of reviews and looked at the prices, found one that looked pretty. Okay, I like that one. Works great. Then my barbecue.
The world of soldering irons has changed a lot since I've been into it.
Oh, yes. I mean, okay, so I've been soldering, we'll just say we'll just go with 1980. And from a soldering iron and a soldering gun, right, to what I can get for like $10 on Amazon now is just unbelievable in terms of, just soldering quickly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have this, it's just kind of sitting here. It's just a cheap thing. It was probably $20, if that. And I can turn it on and it's at 350 in, I don't know, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, less than 30 seconds. I mean, it's for the price and to just have it here, I can't beat it. Now, if I was doing, rework and things I do at work, no, that's not what I would have, obviously. But yeah,
Do you work
they
on
have
circuit
changed a
boards and
lot.
stuff at work, or you're not that technically advanced at work?
We used to repair everything. Over time, they've changed it to where
It's all plug and play pretty much, right?
yeah, we swapped the boxes versus doing the IC repair, which, hey, I get paid the same, so that's fine. But yeah, I grew up around with my grandfather. He was an engineer for Zenith, and I did a lot of stuff with him in his garage. And then as he retired, I ran around with him doing, fixing TVs in the neighborhood and whatever he was trying to find to do to fill the day. And ended up going to school for 4 years before they started having all the trendy names. It was just electronics. So it was 4 years, in school of electronics. And my senior project was to build a big screen projection TV from components and a schematic. So we did that. And
whenever I strip wires and anything small, because there's not much wire in there, I use a barbecue lighter or a Bic lighter. That's the fastest way to do it, and I don't break any wires.
you just melt it off and pull it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my barbecue lighter died a while ago, so when I went to pick up my prescription at CVS for high blood pressure, I picked up a barbecue lighter and a Bic lighter. And I quit smoking like 6 or 7 years ago, so I didn't have any Bic lighters laying around. I had to heat up a wire roller to strip it. So I grabbed my propane torch, the big blue cylinder, and I heated up the wire real quick, and I stripped it with that. Or actually, I used it for heat shrink. I put some heat shrink on. I used my torch on it real quick, so I didn't have a lighter.
I see a lot of people that do that. Use a torch.
There you go.
But I don't like using a heat gun. It gets everything red hot everywhere.
What's that saying? Oh yeah, right tool for the right job, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man.
You bastard.
It's talking to you, John.
God, both motors are beeping.
That's probably okay. You're gonna get some continuity through them. You should have some resistance because it's a winding through the motor, but it should be going right through. So that's okay. Yeah.
But through the ones when it was going through the speed controller, one side beeped, one side didn't.
Right. So now we just got to figure out which one is good and which one is bad.
Well, I'm assuming the one that beeped, but I don't know. The one that beeped I marked, but I don't know. I can't tell by looking at it which one came which in the mail. I didn't mark it when it came, so they both look identical. Nothing looks burnt or like it got hot.
Gary's asking you what your reading was when you measured those motors, Jerry.
I just let them go beep. What setting should I put it on my meter?
Resistance.
Yes.
That's the little horseshoe thing?
Yes, that's an omega sign, yes, for ohms. Okay.
Let me check it. I'm checking the motors, right?
John, I'm going to try to move these screens around. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but okay.
Drag it and drop it.
Is that all you do?
Screen. Yeah, just drag. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, look at that. Look at me. Like I'm on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, it's jumping all over the place. 10.2, 9.7, 7.8, 5.7. It's jumping all over the place on one motor.
Is it just dropping or is it going up and down?
Now it's a 16.1, 16.0, 15.9. It's like it's stabilized. Now it's a 15.9, 13.5, 12.5, 11.4, 10.1, 9, 8. Going down.
Anybody who's really good with this stuff, jump in.
You can share the
let
link.
me put the link in
the
chat.
The resistance keeps going down. It's set to auto. Now it's at 5.9. Now it's at 6.3. Now it's going back up. Let me go to the other one.
Bears are arguing with the wife.
This one's slowly climbing, 2.3, sitting at 2.3, 2.4. Okay, this other motor is sitting at 2.4, not moving. Yeah, it's still at 2.4. 0, 2.4 on one motor, And there was the other motor that was kept going up and down, climbing all over the place.
Let me grab. I'm gonna grab one of the extra motors I have and see how it reads out.
Here, let me change cameras, and I'll show you the meter. There, you can see the meter, right?
Yeah, Gary, that's about right. These are, I think these motors stall out at like 5.6 or 5.9 amps. So at 12 volts, yeah. That's good though for just off the top of your head. I'd have to think about it.
Now it's sitting at 2829. A minute ago, that one was really high, and then it changed itself. And I'm going black to black, red to red. Now let me go back to the other motor. Okay, now I'm on a different motor here. See, it's sitting at 2.4. It's not climbing. So, what do you think, Jason?
I'm looking at mine. So
here's the second motor. See, it's sitting at 2.0.
2.5. Trying to get it to sit still. It keeps rolling around. Stay there.
Okay, spin it.
Well, you know, it's round, so
yeah, DC.
Yeah, around you should be getting around 6 or 7 ohms, close to 7. It's going to bounce around a little bit probably, but it'll probably settle pretty close to between 6 and 7 somewhere. The longer you hold it there, you probably see it drop though, but
and the wiring that I put on these motors is really light gauge. It's like I say, it put on a 3D printer, really, really super light gauge, really fine. And I know by running the wrong wire, that can affect it too. I'm going to go back to the first one. Yeah, I'll put a link to the speed controller I bought. If anybody wants to look at it, would really appreciate it. Help me out a ton. Let me share it.
Yeah, even the speed controller that I got, this one, documentation is just, I mean, they basically say it's just plug it in and go. I mean, the only thing that's different is that this has jumpers on it for LiPo or standard nightcap.
Well, these aren't the ones that were recommended by Jason, but here's the ones I bought before Jason had an opinion. Here, I'll put it in, let's see. I'm not a mod here, so let me put it in private chat, and then Tripod can share it out.
Oh, I thought you went, yeah, Jason put throw it in there.
He just came in through the link, so I got you. I got it.
All right. Yeah, if you could click on it and then whatever, share it.
Yeah.
Sponge.
Take off my old man glasses here. I'll put them on my head. I'm going to let my beard grow out. I could take this tie part of it together, and then I could just hook them on the side of my face and my beard. So, old curmudgeon, you think I should put heavier gauge wire on? Is like what I'm thinking, like speaker wire or something you'd use on your vehicle. Pretty much, yeah, the heavier gauge wire is what I have right here. When I went to AutoZone, I bought this fuse holder, which is fairly heavy gauge wire. That's probably how I should have wired the motors. But the speed controller itself is really tiny little wires here. It's really Mickey Mouse.
They really don't pull that much current. So you don't need this the gauge of wire that's coming out of the battery. That's potential for the battery output. Okay. But just what those motors draw, no, you could probably get away with 20 gauge wire and it's fine. I think I did 16 or 18 on mine, and it's fine. They don't even.
You want to switch me and Tripod back so we can focus on him?
Yep.
And I'll get help when I can.
There we go.
It'd run at least 14 gauge. Do you think it could be resistance problems? I'm coming out of the battery. I'm going to a heavy gauge wire going through the fuse, and then it's going down that microscopically tiny wire throughout the rest of the system.
No, if anything, that it should still be. I think it would be fine, Jerry. I don't think it's the gauge of the wire. To be honest with you, it's in resistance.
It says they're rated for 30 amp. Yeah, they're real Mickey Mouse looking. They're really tiny.
Yeah. No, you're not picking up a lot of resistance off that stranded wire, Jerry. If it was solid core wire, maybe some, but at this level of power, no. You can go from, I mean, super small. This thing, it would probably run just fine and not even get warm on the sheathing at 22 gauge wire. At what's coming out of these speed controllers, I wouldn't go that small, but it could probably handle it. Yeah, 1.1% duty cycle.
Yeah, when I hooked this up the other day, guys, I wasn't filming it, and I set it on the floor. I turned it on. I was real happy. It started driving around one way or another way, and then it's only going in circles. It wouldn't go forward or back, so I had my wires probably rung in the receiver. And next thing you know, I had smoke, and then I had flames about 6 inches tall. So I could either grab my cell phone, try to go to video mode to tape it, or I can hurry up and unplug the battery. So I chose to save the battery over getting it on film.
You chose poorly.
Yeah, I should have probably set up a camera for the first time and said, okay, let's just in case something goes wrong, let's get this on tape.
Absolutely.
Because everything I do is kind of like, hey, I can make a video about that.
It's the YouTube live, Jerry, right?
Well, YouTube just paid. Oh, Jason and YouTube just bought my battery for my truck the other day. So thank you to Jason and everyone else and the commercials and everything that made that happen.
Trying to see. I don't even remember what wire I used in here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so I used 20 gauge wire. Well, I used a wire that says 20 gauge on it. Is it really 20 gauge? Probably not, but I didn't measure. I didn't count the strands and measure it really, but
yeah,
it's
the wire
good enough.
Out of these speed controllers, I'm not sure what it is, but it's really, really small. It's like I say, fan wire on a 3D printer. And that was the wire. You know, when you go on Amazon and you buy those multicolored strips of wire, they're all different colors. You just peel them apart and they plug into each other, male by female. That's the wiring that I use to wire the motors.
Okay.
I'm not sure what gauge that is, but that's what I use. It's very small wire. I just cut off the black clips on both ends and solder them to the motors.
Is it like servo control wire? Where it's got like 4 wires together, like an orange and a red, black, and a white or something?
It comes
brown.
Let me show you. Let me grab it. You want one, you just pull it off.
Oh, I don't know if that's really meant to just be like string cheese. If you want one, you just pull it off. I think that was meant
Well, that's
for
what I wired
something.
the motor with. It's really, really light gauge. It's just like all the 5015 fans I have, the extras that are on the printer, same gauge, real small.
Yeah. Well, those fans pull way less than an amp, so you can get away with that small. Yeah, you're right. RCCNC, it's probably 24, 26. I mean, he'll probably get away with it on this setup, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I doubt that's what's causing his problem, though.
So I should take it all back apart, take off the tracks, take off the wheels, and do what I told Tripod to do to begin with.
Just grab your torch and torch it. Start over.
Yeah.
Get behind. That way John can feel ahead of you.
Be sure the
For
camera is
once.
running. So we can do a video.
I like how
Maybe
you
it'll
think
go viral. Bald-headed YouTuber goes viral and takes a torch to his pot.
Well, this time you'll be prepared. Cameras.
Yeah.
You can have a poached egg bot. There you go.
Yeah.
Scramble, yeah. And then on that controller, anybody that looked at it online, I'm using the 2 outside leads, which originally had a female connector on it, and that's what I'm running the battery to. And then the 2 inside leads, which has a male connector, those are the ones that go out to the motors. And then I just took the red and black. Yeah, well, that's like.
And that's the thing on that speed controller. Everything is red and black. So yeah, it's like which is which. And when I looked at it, when Jerry sent me the picture of it, it's like, where it's positioned doesn't really help either, because which one's the power in, which is out, and unless it's got some markings on on the PCB, then I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, you could always spend the money and get like a Citron and there's
a resistor or a capacitor that sticks out the end of this. I don't know what, a little tiny tower, I guess that's called a resistor.
Is it fat? Looks like a little trash can.
Yeah,
that's probably a capacitor.
That's hooked up to the 2 outside leads that I'm using where the battery goes. Does yours have that?
Probably, maybe. I hope so.
If it has a little capacitor, tell me if it's going to the leads that the battery's hooked to, which are on my little tiny speed controller, they're on the outside edges.
Well, mine's got, so the one that has 2 capacitors, so it's got it coming in and going out. So if there's a single one, who knows where they put it. I would hope they put it on the motor side, so that you keep continuous power in case your battery kind of dips down a little bit.
It's supposed to be on the motor side, then I have these wired backwards from the get. Because the link that I shared with you, the 2 outer leads that are on the outside of the compatible. Let me switch cameras so I can show you.
Wrong button.
Yeah.
Let's bring you up.
My hand out of the way.
Okay.
Okay, there's a solder joint you can see on the 2 outside edges.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the capacitor, which is underneath all the wires, you can't see it, is soldered to. Those 2 outside wires, which here's one here and here's the other one, are the ones that I had the battery going to that go to these 2 outside edges. The 2 inside red and black, which they're hiding underneath this on and off switch, are the ones that I had going to the motors. So the battery's hooked up to the 2 outside leads on the outside edges.
Okay. Well, that's what I would think. I mean, looking at it, I would assume, I don't know for sure that component, but I would assume that since that right, so the black, red, and white is obviously your control wire, right? Your control wires
you see
to the receiver.
Wire, you can see the solder joint going to the capacitor.
Right. And then I would just assume that what's right next to it goes to the motor.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a red on the outside right there, with the capacitor wire. Other side has a black. Those are the ones that I had the battery going into both of them.
Okay.
And then it worked briefly, and then it popped the fuse.
Okay. Okay, so RCCNC says the caps, where the capacitors are typically put on the power side. So,
so then I had it wired right.
Okay.
All right.
And mine has one on each side, so that's just how that one was.
And my board has one on it. On the other side in the center, there's a little tiny silver box in the middle, but it's real tiny. My dog just ran outside, one who was yelling in the background.
Oh,
That's my wife yelling about dinner.
Get off your effing computer. Dinner's ready, you blankety blank.
Get off that damn street. Hope not.
well, in her defense, you really should have had this pretty much built by now, John.
Does your wife beat you, John?
Okay. We all know how fast John operates.
Oh, look, I'm banned. Dang it.
Okay. What is going on here? You know, is everyone hidden in here or something? That's not cool.
Oh, they didn't give you, what are you, one short?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, let's figure this out here. So I actually need that other one, okay? Because I'm going to be making a Y connector.
John, I think you're overcomplicating it, man. Just do a Dean's connector to the battery, and then just solder your motor to the speed controller.
No, I like it neat. Well, I like it modular because then I could just take things out.
But it's not like you're going to be jumping like, dirt berms with this thing. Trust me, it won't make it. It won't make it. If you try to jump something, it will not make it. You'll be reprinting. I promise.
Man, no, I know. I'm gonna make 3D printed suspension. Springs. Don't, Jason, stop telling me it can't happen.
If that's what gets it to work, then I'll tell you that all day long. You can't do it. You can't do it, John. There's no way. Prove me wrong. Submit your STLs.
All right. So
with your 5,200 milliamp battery.
You've made me buy it.
Hey, my battery isn't that big. Yours is bigger than mine. I think everyone's is bigger than mine. No, Jerry's is smaller than mine.
What ampage did you get? What milliamp?
I think I think it was 5,000. It's in the bag. It's in the protection bag thing. I think mine was 5,000. Yours is 1,500.
5,200.
You got two of them, Jerry, right?
Yeah.
You should wire them together. Get a little longer life. Well, start with one. At the rate we're going here, start with one.
What is it? What is it?
Before I got into 3D printing, I was into RC stuff with foam built airplanes. I had tons of equipment. I never had any wiring problems ever.
I was thinking it was like something.
Did they rip off the Kool-Aid man? Come on.
I was thinking it was like another part for the something.
Well, these are real handy for wire strippers also.
Yeah.
And then I got the old school where you just bite it and twist it.
That's how my grandfather used to do it, man. His fingernails were like Ginsu knives, man. It would just go through anything, and he would just grab wire with his thumb and just rip off. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm like, I'll slice a thumb off if I try that.
I used to be able to do that in electronics class when I was a teenager. I couldn't do it anymore.
I remember once as a kid, I went with him. We went to some somebody in the neighborhood fixing their TV, and I wasn't paying attention. I was a kid, and he was smarter than me. He should have known not to take me, but I went ahead and plugged the TV in, and while his hands were in the back of it, and it grabbed him, and he kicked me right on the side of the head because I didn't hear him tell me to unplug it. Yeah.
When I was a teenager, I had a 69 Firebird that had a 50,000 volt super coil I put on it. My car wasn't running right, so I had a friend of mine take a screwdriver. I said, "Here, ground this out, and when I turn the key on, tell me if it's got voltage." And I threw him up against the wall and almost killed him.
Wow.
And actually, I didn't know that was going to happen, but it did. Not really sure how it happened, but he got zapped.
All right. So with the beans, red side, side.
Oh, what did I do with those?
Oh, God. Well, I guess I can just take those leads and I can just touch them to the battery.
You should have grabbed some of these, John. Makes it so much easier.
What is it? I'm going to switch your stuff over.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Oh, they're pre-made? I didn't.
Yeah.
Laying around.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one speed control wired to.
You know when you've hit success is when your daughter calls you tripod. Yeah. No, it's just a camera. I feel special now.
So you've got one side. You've got your motor connected to one side, Jerry.
Yeah, it's a one-speed controller. Everything's just wrapped together, and I'm going to take two connectors, touch them on the battery, and see what happens.
Okay. Well, make sure take your bot and flip it over so it doesn't run away from you. Like turn it on its side. You know what I mean?
I'll prop it up in the air. It'd be better.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
I can see the wires.
Yeah.
Find something tall enough. Let's dump that out. That might work.
Oh, here we go. We want to get the smoke in high def there.
Oh, you put Jerry on large stream there?
Oh, yeah. For insurance purposes, you know.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, that's why I started the stream, was for anyone that needs help on this. We could work together. It's everyone's project.
Yeah. So, John, I don't know enough about these speed controllers. So if he just plugs in the battery, is it going to work unless he makes a move on the controller?
He has to do the controller.
Okay.
You may want to get the battery pack off.
There.
Battery.
And that's with the controller. I think is a good controller.
Okay. And it seems to be working like it should. It's switching, polarity. So it's.
I'm going up and down with the remote.
That's good. Okay.
So we're going to assume that speed controller on that side is fine.
Okay.
So now I guess I'll switch over to the other side. But something's definitely going to go wrong here in a minute. But.
Well, now you're being filmed.
No, I think John's doing fine, Jerry. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I've only run two connectors. It's all good.
Yeah, people watching saying, "Come on, let's see fire."
Well, they're expecting it. They're on my channel.
It's like you watch NASCAR, round and round and round. Come on, let's have a wreck. I don't want nobody to get hurt, but yeah,
that's what I used to go to the races for, was just the wrecks. I know that's bad. You don't say it out loud, but honestly,
all fans see it though.
It's the truth, right? Truth hurts. That's what we went for.
And the speedway. When the speedway's going, I can hear it from my house. I can hear the rumble when I walk out front.
Nice.
Because if I go 6 blocks up the street, I'm on Hollywood, and if I have binoculars, I can look right across the range, and you can see the lights from the speedway from the 6 blocks from here.
Nice. Oh, so you get the nice Christmas show when they do it. Then, well, if you get your binoculars out, I guess.
Yeah, overhead I got jets flying over every day, and or they take off for some reason. The big planes take off at night. My whole house kind of rumbles. All the big stuff leaves at night. It always happens at night.
Yeah, I get the trains. I get the big freight trains.
It's either dead quiet here or it's really loud.
I get the commuter trains and the freight trains, and then I get then after we moved in a couple of years later, 9/11. You know how after 9/11, it's like all the fire departments got a lot bigger. Well, they said, "Oh, we're gonna build a nice big fire department a mile down your house." Oh, thanks. And then a red light camera gets put in the intersection. Then we get a flashing light that goes into our house. This is just...
Okay, now we're ready for the one that I think is bad.
All right.
And that's going to be that one over there. So. That's spark.
Did I hear a spark?
Yes.
I'm not even watching. I just hear it. I thought I heard a spark, and then I hear Jason laughing.
I shouldn't spark, but I jumped, but it didn't shock me. Yeah.
Well, that's when you should have stopped. Yeah, pull that battery off, Jerry. Yeah, there you go.
So it didn't smoke, but it sparked, and.
Okay. So now, do you have an extra speed controller, Jerry?
No.
Do you want one?
Yeah. I know somebody across town that has
Hey, Jason, you don't have it.
I don't.
Oh wait.
No, I do. It's not much more expensive than Amazon, the one I have for you, Jerry. It's only 10% more.
I can't be in last place, Jason. You don't have it. Oh, look at that.
Hey,
does your Deans have that? Huh?
If you deliver, you get to see all this.
I can't drive all the way up there, Jerry. I can't. I just can't do it mentally. There's not enough time for me to prepare to go past. Like,
do you have your phone with you? Here, Google my address and tell me how long it takes you on your phone to get it. It'll probably say 30 minutes.
Oh, jeez. Hold on. I think I have your address somewhere.
I can tell you on the stream. I don't care who knows it.
You sure?
I'm not worried about talking.
Considering there hasn't been a comment in 13 minutes, I think we're pretty safe.
All right. What is it?
2621.
Yeah.
Pomona, Pomona Drive, 89156. I used to list it on my YouTube channel. People want to send me stuff. I used to post it. Then I took it out. If you come here in the middle of the night, if my dogs don't eat you, I'll shoot you.
Well, you're just making it way better. Oh, look at that. A cool 53 minutes.
Oh, wow. You're kidding me. You're out by the M.
I'm by the M. Yeah. All the traffic is great until I get past, until I hit the strip. And then it just sucks from there north.
Yeah.
Because Munjing got your address.
How many miles the state is from where you're at?
25? 33.7 miles.
Wow.
The fastest way is 30.7 miles. So you're about 30 miles from me, yeah.
That's
so
okay.
No, it's really not that far. It's the traffic. So and for me to go there, the quickest way is to take 15 across right over the strip, and that's where the traffic just sucks.
When I worked at Grandview for many years out there next to South Point, in the morning I'd go straight down Lake Mead to I-15, take that straight out. And then after work I'd get on 215 to Henderson, and then I'd come down 95, get off at Charleston, and come up to Hollywood.
Well, do that now, and I'll meet you at South Point.
So,
it's faster than Amazon.
South Point's like right next to you.
So
Curmudgeon is going to visit you.
Now, originally I tried to run, what was it, one speed controller, and it didn't work.
Yeah, that won't work. A single speed controller, like it might work if you, honestly, I don't know.
That's what I did originally.
You would have to have a brake on one side.
If you just want to go forward, right? But it wouldn't turn.
You have to have a brake on one side somehow.
Yeah.
They
with a servo or something to stop.
They do have brakes on them, each one of them, and they're bi-directional. But I tried to do that. Originally, I was going to put two on it, and you convinced me that one would probably work. And then when I put one on, I smoked it. And that's when I had the fire.
You might be able to get it to go forward and backwards, but you wouldn't be able to get it to turn because it wouldn't be able to take one motor and switch it going in opposite direction.
Yeah, that's why I said that you had to have a brake on one track.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it disengages the motor on the other side.
Right. And the way that this should work is you should have like one side going whatever the split is. So let's just say it's 100%, 100%. One side should be going 100%. The other side should be going the opposite direction at 100% or in equal measure as you turn.
To spin, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I did earlier when I first hooked it up, and then it worked, and then all of a sudden it got worse and didn't.
Mm.
Well, I'm doing all this work right now, and these big speed controls better work.
That's the thing, man, with this stuff. It's like, you get all this work in, and then you go to test it out, and you just hope that, the crap you got off Amazon works.
Because that's actually what you nailed it right there, because a lot of it is crap. When I used to buy speed controllers back in the day for RC, it was Novak and, high-end stuff.
In private chat is a link to the ones that you recommended that I ordered. I ordered these last weekend. They said they'd be here Friday. Then they said, no, they'll be there Wednesday sooner. It's like, cool. And then they said, no, it's coming May 1st. But there's the link to that one there.
Okay. I just threw that in the chat.
And right now, if I was to reorder them, it still says May 1st. So I don't know what happened. They had plenty in stock. Now it says they're out of stock and they're coming. So I don't know. I guess they sold mine to somebody else. Because at the time, they were in stock and getting ready to be shipped out. And then all of a sudden, they're out of stock.
Wow.
I
shouldn't have put in that second order. You
yeah. We both said something at the same time. So I burned out 30 of them. Did I get these right? Hope so.
Have you ever checked out the Nellis auction, Jerry?
That's where 3 or 4 of my Enders originally came from. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you'll probably find all your speed controllers on there.
Yeah.
Return to Amazon.
They used to have a place right here by Cheyenne and Nellis. There was a bunch of warehouses, and they had a place right there for pickup, which was really close to where I live at, like less than 10 minutes away. And they moved over off of Dean Martin, I think, behind the center or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's over by, what's that place? ProSource. It's right next to ProSource.
People drive up the prices on Nellis auction, and they just keep bidding and bidding and bidding. And
yeah, it used to be a good place. Now there's so many people on there. I'll just get on there every now and then just to see what they've got and what people are bidding. And I find people bidding more than what it costs if you just bought it new.
Yeah.
And then you got to pay the fees, right? You got to pay the auction fees and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's just, yeah.
My son got a couple boxes he bought off there where they kind of show you what's in the box and you bid on it. And he got a couple boxes for $5 a box and had a brand new Apple keyboard worth like $100. So it wasn't all junk. I mean, you never know what's in the box, and sometimes it's good to buy them if you just want to take a chance on reselling. So
yeah, we bought 1 or 2 of those just to do it, for $5. What the heck, right? We bought a couple, and they had some decent, a good quality pair of scissors, 1 or 2 things in there that were worth a lot more than the box. But overall, I mean, we just did it for the fun of it.
Yeah, Amazon sends it. Amazon sends it to them and they sell it for Amazon. A lot of return.
I think they do Home Depot now too.
Oh, you're talking about these pallets and stuff?
Well, they sell individual items too, but sometimes they have like lots or box, just like you just bid on the box. whatever's in the box. You don't. They'll show you some pictures, but they don't itemize it or anything.
Mellisauction.com. They're in Nevada, Arizona, and somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm sure every state or every major city has an auction house that does similar stuff.
Oh yeah, Amazon's got to dump their stuff, their crap somewhere.
I used to go in person to a couple auctions occasionally, and you have certain people that are always there that just drive the bids up in the room. They're just there to drive the bids up, and I don't think they ever buy anything.
Oh, that's when you stick it to them and
you let them own it. You let them buy the $100 shoestring. Yeah.
Take them outside and hit them with an ugly stick. You know.
Yeah, because I was thinking about doing like those pallets sometimes, but those got driven up in price too now.
Yeah.
You buy a pallet of TVs hoping one of them might not be broke.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they also do the hotels here too. So when like the strip hotels remodel, they sell a lot of their stuff, their furniture, TVs, and stuff like that. And they used to go like one of the guys I worked with, he bought, I think, like 5 40-inch TVs, flat screens, for like $10 a piece or $8 a piece or so. It was ridiculous. And turns out, the hotels, they put their own software on the TV, I guess, when they buy them from the manufacturer. So it would only really work with their network in the hotel, but they didn't tell him that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah, when we done a remodel at the Bellagio a long time ago in one of the towers, they were stripping out the light bulbs and the draperies and the walls and cabinets and throwing everything away. The light bulbs, it looked like a standard light bulb like you had from back in the day. A lot of people still use them, but these things are like a 1/4 inch thick. I've never in my life seen a light bulb that heavy duty. If you hit somebody with it, you can knock them out. That's how heavy duty this regular light bulb was.
Wow.
Never in my life seen a regular light bulb like that. They're really super thick. And they look like a regular light bulb.
Well, speed controllers are done.
Now you said controllers. Is that both or just one, John?
Oh, come on.
Both. Okay. Well, no, I'll say it. I'm shocked.
Okay. Now, ready?
Man.
Ready? See?
Whoa. You did that off camera.
I did. I always want to do shock and awe. Right?
Wait, now pull on them. I want to see if they're really on there, or if you just staged it like you did the bot.
See?
Still, yeah, right? Yeah. They don't blow
Jason,
off.
if you blow it over here.
Who's wearing white house slippers? They look furry like a cat.
What?
No, behind him there's a bubblegum machine. Oh, that was a tennis shoe. White
Oh.
Probably his daughter walked it behind him.
Yeah.
Until it starts coming. Do a cleaning mode on the printer nozzle. What? Okay. All right. So now we're doing the Y connector. So we need this. That sounds a lot better than the first time you tried using it a couple of streams ago. It's very clear.
Okay, I hope so. Because I can't hear it on my side, so the only way I can test it is if I go in StreamYard and do a recording and pretend like I'm going live and test my buttons and then download it and I listen to it. The key shows movement. I can tell it's working. I can look at my meter on the screen, but I can't hear it.
All right,
so I think it's done right.
Sounded good to me. So it wasn't too loud or anything.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So that's good.
Cut one a little shorter, John. I dare you.
It's like the the magic trick with the string. They don't show that they're palming the full.
Right.
What? What?
So I should have replaced both of them when one went bad. And I said, "Oh, the other one's good. It didn't smoke. I should have just replaced it."
Yeah. Yeah, because you never know. And then you could have tested it later.
Yeah, I just with those type of speed controllers, it didn't. I mean, I have it here, the dual.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saving it for the dome. I just don't have the confidence in it. But also, these are no-name speed controllers that I have right here too. So
Yeah.
technically, I don't have the confidence in these either.
I'll tell you though, it ran. I mean, I ran it for an hour, a little over an hour, and I mean, it's still working. So we'll find out how much I'll actually use it.
What about Mr. Bedelli talking about plugging the yellow motor directly into the receiver?
What's that, Jerry?
What about Mr. Bedelli talking about the dome motor, the little yellow motor, plugging that directly in the receiver to power it?
Yes, you can get power from there, because when you plug these speed controllers in to the receiver, those 3 wires, the white, which is your signal, and then your red and black, have power. So once you plug that into the receiver, it's powering the receiver, and then that whole row of center pins has power. So anything else you plug in can draw power off of it too. I just didn't do it. I could have done it that way. I just didn't. No real reason, no rhyme or reason. I just didn't. I used a buck converter to pull power, but I'm also running 2 Arduinos in mine as well. So I'm glad I did it that way for GP, I guess.
Okay, so what you're mentioning there is the RC battery eliminating circuitry that was introduced in late 80s, where it eliminated that 4-pack, that battery pack that we used on the small droids.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, you could theoretically, what you can do is run just hook up your battery pack to that battery input.
Yeah.
The one from that we've been using.
Yeah.
Curmudgeon, I have no reason to get a PO box. People usually don't mail me stuff, or if it's people that I know that I deal with a lot online, I just give my address.
Yeah, I just give my address too right now because it's not.
I've never got a box of poop in the mail yet from anybody.
Oh. Ooh, I'm very close to a cold solder joint on this one.
Blow on it, John. It makes it stronger.
Oh, does it?
Just blow on the tip.
Yeah, and then wait until it's done. When the inkjet printer hasn't ran for a while, maybe the nozzles should be clean. It'll prevent the lines. Yeah.
Have either of you ever used the Luban slicer?
I haven't, but I've used it once a long time ago. I've never done a lithophane with it. I've tinkered. Actually, I think I did. It's the only thing I'd ever used it for. I'd done a lithophane a couple of years ago with it, but I haven't played with it since.
Yeah, Matt German gave me one of his lithophane STLs. Yeah, well, one of the STLs that he made, and he's he gave me some instructions to kind of set it up for the Luban slicer, and I've never done lithophane, so I was just going to try it the way that he sent it to me. I've downloaded it. I haven't played with it yet, so I was just wondering if you guys had messed with it, what it was like.
Luban has a YouTube channel. They don't talk in it. They just kind of, you watch what they're doing when they're clicking on the screen fairly fast and
okay.
Figure it out.
Okay, I watch that. I'm sure it's a pretty big lithophane. You need a 400 by 400 printer to do it, or at least a 400 in one direction to do it. I'll scale it down really small and try it for the first time. before I kill a roll of filament.
Where did it go? There's some negative.
Well, tomorrow morning I can get up and find a hobby shop that's closer than your house, or I can just wait on Amazon.
There's one up by you. There's Friendlies, which is the one that I went to down here, and there's I think 3 or 4 of them, and there was one up by you.
There used to be one at Charleston Lamb that shut down a few years ago.
Look up, Google Friendlies, Friendly or Friendlies.
And there's one
Hobbies.
way up the ranch show. I forget the guy's name. He got into 3D printing and stuff. Yeah, Friendlies. That's the one way over on Rancho. That's where I bought a drone from a long time ago from him. He used to get broke into all the time. People would break in and steal all the stuff constantly. He's had a lot of problems.
That's dumb.
It's actually a shame that people do that stuff. You know, most hobby shops are family owned, and they're enthusiasts that open it. Not people don't just open it. No, I'm just going to open up a hobby shop. No, they've been into it forever, and
they're getting such great deals on their own stuff that they just work it out and they open the shop. Yeah. But usually hobby shops are expensive compared to just buying something online typically.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would rather support a local shop at the expense of, a few dollars. Now, if you're getting the exact same thing for double the price, I can't do that. I mean, good luck to them. But if it's, $5 more or so, I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find things locally, really, no matter what it is anymore. Amazon's just killing it.
Yeah. True.
That's presentable.
I think it passes with a C.
I give it a C+. I'm feeling generous.
Oh, thank you. I know the critics.
If everybody in chat thinks he's done a good job, give him a thumbs up, please.
If not, just give me a thumbs down. I really don't care on this stream. So.
Yeah, every time I put out a video, I get multiple thumbs downs, and just I have no comment on how it makes me feel.
YouTube should let you do both. But so if I click over to the thumbs down, it takes away my thumbs up, and it shouldn't do that. It should let you know that I was just kind of middle of the road on your stream instead of just all the way happy or all the way disappointed.
There you go. And being the neutral button, right? Yeah, that's okay, but
the meh.
Yeah, the meh
button.
The meh button. All right, so this is when we're going to split it off here. My computer's definitely releasing devices. Still hear it behind me. Or is that someone else messing? Is that Jerry messing around with the sound?
It's not me.
I haven't done nothing. If somebody gives you a super chat, I got a couple cool sounds I can play for that though.
No one's on.
Hint, hint, hint. There's 12 people here.
Yeah, 3 of them. Me and Jason are the other 3.
Somebody just jumped in.
I know when I come into a stream early, when I run my own stream, I'm at least an hour early, just sitting here doing whatever. And it says one waiting. That must be me waiting. It's already in.
Yeah, well, I mean,
when I have it open on another window.
Did you guys have any ways to print on? Yeah, wasted on a. You gotta try wasting it on a print and see if those lines come through or not.
Stephen Poole, how you doing? Rising Phoenix, how's it going?
All right. Well, I could go about one of two ways. Either I could.
Rising Phoenix, thank you. You helped me buy the battery for my truck. I appreciate it.
Let's see. How do I want to split this one? These connectors.
Got my car CR10S5 today.
I think he means a CR10. Well, you're gonna have fun with that one.
The CR10?
The S5.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is that one sitting there.
It's big and clunky. I've worked on one for a friend of mine. It's very big and clunky, is my opinion of it, but it's very big.
Yeah.
Do you think the word clunky fits it?
Yeah, I think so. At the time, it's the only, it was really the only option. But
when you got double sets of wheels on both sides, inside and out, those inside ones do nothing because the outside are doing all the grabbing. They just kind of do nothing. Then I have the CR10 Max that I got from a friend of mine, and I've got them all put back together. I placed the board in it for $80-something, even though at Micro Center had them on sale for $39. There's no Micro Center in Las Vegas, so I paid $82 on Amazon, and I got to get it leveled right.
I know. I wish Micro Center would ship.
Yeah.
Every time we take a trip out to San Diego, I'll hit the one in Irvine, even if it's just to go there to walk around. I feel like it makes me feel better.
Yeah, I went to San Diego one time with my wife. I drove down there years ago, and we went to, where did we go? We went to the zoo, and I was expecting more. It was cool. They had lots of birds everywhere, but it really didn't impress me that much. I was expecting more.
That's a giant zoo. I'm surprised. Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's compared to so we'll go out to Phoenix and hit that zoo, and it's, I don't know, maybe 25% of the size of the San Diego Zoo.
My favorite attraction there was the Midway, on the Midway.
Okay.
That was really cool. It's amazing all that weight can float.
Buoyancy is a thing.
Yeah.
Daughter just dumped all my old prints. I was like, yep, throw them all out.
Layer separation issue is probably a partial clog causing it in temperature. Change your nozzle and check your temperature. I usually print at 210 on all PLA.
Yeah, even with the steel nozzle, hardened nozzle, I print 210 on that printer.
I use all brass nozzles for everything, and if I'm starting to have issues, I just take it off, throw it away, throw another one on. I usually don't mess with cleaning them, and they're too cheap to be messing with them. So.
Exactly.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, Rising Phoenix Bronco. Yeah, the S5 it'll print a full size droid body. At least Mr. Badley's his or
dome is 18 inches.
Yeah, it'll fit on a 500 by 500.
It won't fit on mine. Mine's 475 on the CR10 Max, and it won't quite fit.
Well, I've got this S5. I started to rebuild it, and I don't know if I'm gonna, everything's sitting there on it. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it because I've got two 500 by 500 Core XYs coming that what was meant to replace it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because, I try to limit myself to 4 space-wise, as you can see. So I don't know. Maybe it'll go on the floor, the garage, the garage sale.
Take over a second room. Do you have enough rooms in your house to have a second hobby room?
Yes, but that's not approved.
Oh, you get permission like
The local realtor hasn't approved.
No, it didn't pass the local zoning authority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, right now, Creality printers are on my floor.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. I'm eventually just actually those 3 are the last 3. That 6 will end up going away. The CR6, I might hold on to it. It's, contrary to some folks' belief, it's actually a really good printer.
The SE.
That CR6 SE, yeah.
And again, I've said it. I've said it many times. I think they just got that.
Yeah, you did. You got it. Even though they don't have Fridays over there, you got a Friday machine for sure.
Yeah, Friday special.
You did. You got the one that fell on the floor, off the truck, down the stairs, and thrown on your porch, set on fire, reboxed,
Yeah.
and set on fire again.
Like, oh, this is a tripod special.
They know your address. They're like, give them that one. Yeah, it just gets too hot to do anything in the garage. I mean, if I were printing ABS, I would probably stick one out there, but I just don't have a need to print things that are that temperature sensitive. So
when I worked construction here on the strip for so many years, the heat didn't bother me because I'm used to it. But now that I've been retired for going on 7 to 8 years now, when it's really hot, I turn around and go back in the house because I don't have.
I know. I used to go out and ride my bike, and when the season comes around, you need to get on it right away so you can acclimate. Because by the time it gets to June, if you haven't been out riding for 3 months, then just don't. Yeah. Just go either ride at night or just get a trainer and ride inside. Because
I was out of work one time in construction for like 6 to 8 months, and the hot season came around and I wasn't used to it. So when I got a job, it only lasted a week. The first day I was there, I got extremely sick and nauseous and lightheaded because I hadn't been out in the heat. I hadn't acclimated to the climate, the temperature change.
Oh yeah, it's got to be super hot for you, Rising Phoenix Bronco, especially because it's hotter there than here, right? It gets hotter in Phoenix than it does in Vegas. So
I believe so.
Yeah. And we were out there a few months ago. Man, it was beautiful weather. I'm trying to remember when we went. I think it was in February, and went and hit the zoo and a couple things that we do when we go. And it was nice, really nice.
Well, if I had to put that fuse in it, and earlier before I came on the stream, I guess I would have seen another speed controller go poof and flame up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you guys were talking about fuses, I'm like, I haven't seen a fuse on a speed controller.
Well, Mr. B's.
I'm just saying, no, I'm just saying in general. I'm ARC,
yeah. Time. Yeah.
Do you think this really light gauge wire that I have on these motors is fine? Because it's just as heavy as a speed controller.
What is it, Jerry, though? I mean, when you say really light gauge, what gauge is it? You're going to have to get a magnifying glass and some light and see what it is.
I don't know if it's marked.
If it's at least 20 gauge, then it's fine.
Let's get toasty.
I'll just look up my wiring on Amazon. I can pull it up and see what I bought. Just go to returns and type in the word wire and see what comes up for my orders.
RCCNC says no, your wiring's not good enough.
Okay.
Of course, that could be for whatever John's doing too. I don't know. Tripod, what are you doing? He might be telling you no. Are you soldering the red and black together?
Yes. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
That's kind of what it looks like you're doing.
No, I'm creating my splitter.
Yeah, so he says 20 gauge minimum, and yeah, and that's what I did in mine, and it runs just fine. It ran around for over an hour, and it didn't get warm at all, not even close. If it even hit ambient temperature, I'd be surprised.
Wow. It looks like on Amazon it says it's 36 AUG. That's crazy. Can't be that little.
Yeah, if it's 36 gauge wire, I mean, you can use it to run an extension to your phone in the garage, but that's about it.
My in-laws are using telephone cable for their speaker.
Here's a link right here, Jake, in
Geez.
private chat.
All right.
This is what I ran to my motors. Because it looked like it was just as big as the speed controller wire that's on there.
No, don't use that, Jerry. No, that's going to be too small. You're going to eventually pull too much current, and it's going to
No.
Yeah, you're going to burn the wire. Yeah.
Well, then why is the speed controller so light, other than their cheap Chinese speed controllers? It appears to be the same size. Well, it could. I don't know if it's small or not, but yeah, I think it is small. When I grab both wires with 2 fingers, it does appear that the one going to the motors is a smaller diameter than the speed controller, but not by much.
Yeah, well, I mean, the difference visually between 20 and 36 may not look like a lot, but electrically it's a lot. Current, when you're talking about current. So, yeah, I know in RCNC, you're right that what he got was it was ribbon cable, and it's for signaling. It wasn't meant for
I'm
carrying that.
like RJ45.
Yeah, you wouldn't use Cat5 to make an extension cord for your TV, Yeah, and the insulation is a lot thinner because they're rated, Jerry. Current wise, when you look at the gauge for the wire on how much current they can carry, and then you really want to stay under that, because any wire that you're buying off the internet, just discount it. If it says it's 20 gauge and holds 5 amps, then just assume it's 22 gauge and holds 3 amps.
Okay,
really.
I'll take my Droid back apart and I'll resolder in a heavier wire that I have out in the garage that I would use for speakers on my truck or anything 12 volt on my truck when I'm wiring anything that I've always used.
Tim Allen would say, rewire it.
Yeah. He's got that new show. I missed the last 3 episodes.
Oh, I didn't even know he had a new show.
Yeah, it's on the History Channel. It's like a competition of just building stuff, unique things. Pretty cool.
Do you have larger gauge wire, Jerry?
Yeah, I got some out in the garage.
Okay.
Yeah, typically I use automotive wiring for everything. The only reason I didn't is the speed controllers had such tiny little Mickey Mouse wire. I figured this other wire would be fine. I assumed it would be fine.
Yeah.
You know how
for the most part, I think for the most part, thicker is always better.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And at 90C, yeah, you're gonna have to derate it. Yeah, you just if you bought wire on Amazon, just derate it to start with.
Yeah, my wife doesn't know anything about electronics, but she thinks thicker is better also.
Hit the button, Jerry. Wah, wah, wah. There we go. Oh, there they come. Here we go. That's what she said. We had a roll on that show. Yeah, I was gonna wire mine with 16 gauge wire, but all I had left was a spool of black, and I didn't want to start running all black wires to everything while I was trying to keep track of where it was going to and from. So I just bumped it down to 20. And
it's complicated fast.
Yeah, I don't know if I got red and black, but I've got red, and if I got red, then I'm gonna have to mark it with a marker so I know which one's which.
Yeah, or put some tape on it or something that won't rub off, that you can see easily.
Yeah.
I just wish except for this. It's beeping. That beep.
Make her
Is somebody's control, Jerry? Is your controller left on?
No, I think it's tripod making noise. Well, actually, maybe it is me. Yeah, it must have been me. I've been hearing that for quite a while now. I didn't know where it's coming from. Yeah, it's sitting way, like 2 foot away.
Like, that's not mine.
Tripods is the USB sound that we can't hear.
Yeah, it just happened just now. I think you guys are messing with me.
You need to put a USB disconnection sound on your Stream Deck, Jerry, just for him.
It's literally driving me nuts hearing it. It was happening before the stream. I'm like, I'm just leaving.
Well, my beeping I've heard for about 10 minutes, and I figured it was tripod. I was just sitting there ignoring it, but I didn't realize it was turned on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the what is it? The signal protection or whatever between the receiver and the controller, letting you know it lost. Yeah.
Oh, did you see when I plugged the battery in yesterday or whenever it was and I jumped? I wasn't expecting the beep.
Saw that just there. Oh, yes. And then I saw you jump again today.
Yes.
When it sparked. Yeah.
When you sparked the battery.
Yeah, I hate when I work on live electricity, like breakers and stuff. I'll wire stuff hot, but I hate doing it. And sometimes if you accidentally bump something, you get a spark. I've never killed myself yet, but I don't.
Yes.
When I work on live.
Are you sure?
I mean, you're still here.
Red light, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, hey.
Hey, red light, you see my new video on the resin printer I put out yesterday where it's growing out of nothing? I printed 2 of these. Yeah, that quick little video was over 350 pictures. And then my camera took, I forget how many gigs it was, but it was a ridiculous amount of footage.
16 gigs, I think you said.
Yeah, it was like 5 megs per file, 15 of them. And when I put it in the DaVinci Resolve on the video, it was so quick. It's like, well, wait a minute, how do I reverse this video? So I had to research it. I Googled it, and they showed me how to reverse it. So I figured I'll go down, or I go up and then down, then back up. That's why I did it like that. Try to make it last a little bit longer.
Yeah, okay, so that's why I was wondering. I was like, wait, is my eyes playing tricks on me on this video?
Yeah, I reversed it on purpose. I'm going to do that in all my videos just to make them longer when I do resin lamps.
Yeah.
I print everything going backwards from top to bottom. Yeah. You don't?
Well, in Resolve, when you have a clip up, you can preview it, I guess you'd call it, with your mouse before you put it down here to edit it. And when I was dumping resin in the vat, it's like, wow, do it in reverse. The resin comes out and goes back in the bottle. That's really cool. You know, just to be different for some videos. Yeah,
I really like the Sarai Tech resin. It just
works. I love it. It just works.
But the price kills me, though. I mean,
that's why I'm buying clear. The clear is like $30 a bottle. If they haven't, it was on sale. I'm not sure if it still is. I don't prefer clear. I prefer gray, but I go on price. I'm retired on a fixed income, so if I can save a couple bucks, I save a couple bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just stick with the Elegoo because usually I can get it for about $30-$35 for their ceramic gray.
Yeah, I haven't tried this in a long time. And my bigger resin printers haven't tried Elegoo yet.
Yeah.
It's in the originally in the marsh.
Maybe that's
Yeah, we do that at work. We do about a dozen of those RCNC at work annually. Well, actually, it's 2 sets of equipment, so about 2 dozen of them. Good times.
When I was a kid, I blew up a transformer in the alley and I shut down the power for about 8 blocks, intersections, everything. I took a rock, tied on some, am I allowed to say this 30 or 40 years later?
I think the statute of limitations might be up, Jerry, but if they're looking for you, now they know where to find you.
Right, and they've got your address. They just rewatched this stream.
Actually, I didn't do it. I knew. Here, let me rephrase it. I didn't do it. I knew somebody that did do it.
There you go. It's a little.
But I don't remember what his name was. But what he did was, I seen it from a distance with binoculars. He took a rock, tied some fishing line, threw it up over the high power lines, came down, tied a noose, pulled the wires together. When that happened, they instantly wrapped around each other. Transformer down the alley went boom. Then all the power went out everywhere at night. And then I seen the guy running away.
That's an interesting story, Jerry. Are you sure you don't know who the person was that did that?
I don't remember what his name was.
Okay.
I think Red Light's asking if you hollow your prints, Jerry.
Everything that I can hollow, I hollow 3 millimeters thick. On the Elegoo Mars, which is really small, they were 2 millimeters thick. And then when I got the bigger printers, I started going to 3 millimeters thick on everything. If it's a gun, a leg, a shoe, something little, I don't mess with it. And but I hollow everything that I can hollow, yes. And then you got to put drain holes usually in the top and bottom of it somewhere. And when you go to fill the drain hole, take a Q-tip or an eyedropper or anything, take a drop of resin, put on the hole, take a UV flashlight, cure it. If it's still concave, put another drop on it and cure it. And put it in your little UV oven or out in the sun and make sure that hole is completely cured over. But that's only after you're sure that it's completely dried out. If it's still moist inside and you seal it up, a couple days later, a week later, the chest will bust open like alien babies coming out because there was uncured resin inside. It hadn't completely dried out.
You know what?
I think someone's playing that sound. Yes, someone's playing the sound.
I've got a fan in the background behind me, but I'm not playing anything. There's a fan on the
I can
floor.
tell it's coming from the computer or not.
The USB. See, I don't even hear the USB sound.
Yeah, I don't have anything going. Nothing's printing. My PC's making noise. The fan's running, but
I mean, I have 2 prints going, but they're not making other noises than just printing.
there's my main PC I brought in here.
Nice.
Top fan's spinning a little slow. Then here's my current monitor setup. I brought my main monitors in here. And then I got a TV up here to keep an eye on. I can either watch TV or check out my cameras outside. One of these things.
Sure.
There's a Max. There's my Hypercube 445.
Well, I said if I'm going to talk bad,
Android parts.
do it right in front of them.
Let's see. There's 3 enders back there on the floor I'm going to be selling when I got to go through them. A bunch of junk up there. There's my dog. Not sure where the other dog is. Let's see if I can go slower. There's a bunch of Sanix models I printed. I had the 2 of the printers up there on the shelf. And here's where I keep my resin stuff at. And here the light's off right now. That used to be outside when I put a wall up and closed it. And you can see the Frozen Mighty 4K and the yellow one's Anycubic Proton Mono X.
So, what's the build plate difference between your new 4K and that new Halon?
The Frozen Mighty 4K is slightly bigger, but the Anycubic is slightly taller. The Anycubic is built better than the Frozen. They both look great. It's just one looks like it's built like a tank, and one it's built nice.
Well, I'm talking about in comparison to what the new Crowdy is. The one that they
I
had.
haven't had. I don't have it in front of me. I don't know. I can't
I
talk about.
was wondering if someone had build volume differences.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I saw they did one, but I wasn't really interested, so I didn't look. And then they were emailing me, and I'm like, delete.
Anybody interested in getting into resin printing? If you want to print anything of decent size, get at least a mid-sized resin printer. If you just want to do minis and little tiny things like you should do, like I should have done years ago, just get a 4K, like a Frozen Mini 4K, what a Sonic Mini 4K, yeah, small one. So, but usually once you get one and you like it, you'll end up wanting to buy something bigger. If I had $2,000, would I go out and buy a great big Phenon? I might, but I doubt it because it takes so much resin just to get in the vat. If let's say you wanted to print one little thing and it wasn't that big, and you're about out of resin. Well, you might have to go buy more resin just to put enough in it to print because you got to fill that vat up and then
Wow. So they have two tripod. They've got the Hallett Sky.
Yeah, that's the bigger one.
That's the bigger one, and that's pretty big. That's 340 by 292 by 552. That's a big resin printer. I'm sorry, that's the machine size. The print size, 192 by 120 by 200. Meh. Okay. And then their smaller one, which is the Hallett One, it has a 5.96 screen, so it's one of the smaller sizes. Print size 127 by 80 by 160. That's pretty small.
Rising Phoenix just saw a got. Does he mean goat? Do they have gots down there? They're like a jackalope, right? A got. They're in Phoenix.
Maybe.
They call them gots.
I don't know. Let's shrink tubing fell out. RCCNC says your heat shrink fell off, John.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, just saw a guy print his baby R2 in resin. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the new Mortal Kombat movie comes out tomorrow. That ought to be pretty good.
That actually looks good. It actually looks like the way it should have been made. Yeah, the first one was so disappointing. That and the first Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's like they were afraid to give him superpowers to any of them.
Creality will have a Hallett Max with a 1.3 inch 4K screen. That seems really small.
I got an interesting idea for a video, John. You tell me if anybody would watch it. Back in 2008, when I bought my property, 2.5 acres, was bare desert. I built a great big giant, like, I don't know, how big was it? 2,200 square foot garage. There's a 3-car garage down below with a workshop, and then had a big loft upstairs, which was like a bedroom and a living room. It had dormers on it, 10, 12 pitch roof, huge garage. I built everything myself. I hired a carpenter from work to help me do a lot of the framing since I couldn't lift everything myself. And I have probably 200 or 300 pictures of it. If I made a video out of those pictures and just played music through it and talked occasionally, you think that's something somebody might watch? It's all pictures.
I mean, well, look at the driveway video of mine. It's getting.
Yeah, but you got drone footage. You're talking. People are working. It isn't all pictures.
Oh, there's a lot of. Oh, I'm getting a lot of trolls on it. What is it at now? It's at 132 views an hour right now. Oh no! Holy cow! It 374 right now an hour.
On which video?
How many views have you had on it total?
It's at like 140,000, 130,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which video is that, John?
That's the driveway being redone.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I got actually. They're coming out to take a look at it soon.
I'm around 2330 or something like that on subs. And when I get to 2,500 someday, whenever that happens, I'm going to have a lot of giveaways whenever that happens.
And I'm going to contribute to your giveaway too.
So I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but eventually.
Oh, a 13.3
I got a
inch
couple.
screen. Okay.
I got a couple partial rolls of filament.
Yeah, it'd be from doing all the groundwork with a dozer and having to bring in backfill and compact it, pouring concrete, et cetera, et cetera. I took pictures of everything I ever did. And then I kept the property for 3 or 4 years afterwards. And then when things got tough, I wound up selling it. And I took a huge loss when I sold it.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, it was really nice. I went out there every weekend. When I would get off on Friday afternoon from Grandview, I'd drive to Prump for the weekend, take my diesel dually out there, and I'd spend all weekend on my fifth wheel and work on my property. Then Sunday afternoon, I'd come back, get ready to go to work Monday. And I went out there one weekend, or I think my brother called me up. Yeah, somebody called me up, and I went out there, and somebody went on my property. They very carefully cut my fence that I had around the property, which is just weld wire fence like you have on a farm or something. They carefully folded it back, went over to my air conditioner, unbolted it nice and carefully. It's a split unit, set all the pieces up by the garage, cut all the copper out of it, and left. And then they tried to break in through a window. They tried to bust the frame around the stucco, but they never got in the garage. So luckily I had my property insured, and I had a claim put it on and all.
That's the worst thing about building a place, is just hoping everything will be there. I mean, I've seen places where they've just gone in and rolled up the whole house full of carpet, taken the carpet, the pad.
Oh.
I mean, anything that they could take was, I mean, it's just ridiculous when they raid these houses. It's
years ago, I seen a landscaper roll up a front yard. I had a lawn business back in my late 20s.
He pulled up the sod.
Yeah, I'm mowing these yards, and I see these guys pull up, and they rolled up this front yard and took it. And I don't remember what they said to me, but I come to find out the next week that they stole it. I had no idea. I thought they were the landscapers that put it down or something. I don't know why they were taking it.
Oh my gosh.
They rolled it up right in front of me and took the yard.
They took the yard.
They rolled up the sod and took it, yeah, the whole yard. A couple, probably a pallet and a half for the front yard.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe 2 pallets.
That's a lot of work.
That's crazy. I don't know. I wouldn't even have the energy to lay sod, much less go roll it up from somebody else's house. Jeez. So you got to give them credit for that, I guess.
That's ridiculous.
So they were common casual, no big deal. I didn't think nothing of it. I mean, I'd never seen it before. Who's going to imagine somebody's going to roll up a yard and take it?
Right.
I don't remember what they said, if they didn't pay for what they'd done or what, I don't know. But, they rolled it up and took it. It's crazy.
Could be a lawn repo guy.
Yeah. It's a new business, right?
Right.
Lawn repo.
It's a new show on A&E or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Airplane Repo? Is real interesting. You ever watch that? The airplane repo guys, they repossess airplanes. Really
Yeah, I
interesting.
saw the airplane one before.
Wow.
But when they take the radio out of the airplane, technically you can't take off with it because you can't talk to the control tower, you can't land, you can't see anything, so they can't fly it. They can't, So a lot of these people, when they park their plane, they pull the radio out of it, and then you're dead in the water if you try to steal it.
Wow. I've seen the one where they repo boats. That gets rough. I mean,
Yeah.
because
Good way to get shot and killed.
Yeah, because it's either connected to somebody's car or in their garage, or they're towing it, or they're putting it in the water, or taking it out. So it's confrontational 100% of the time. Where a car, they could tow it if somebody's walked away from it. But
I had a truck repoed here out of the driveway
crazy.
when I first moved in like 20 years ago. I got behind on a payment. I talked to the credit union about it, explained what was happening. I told them I'm going to be filing bankruptcy, but I'm going to keep the truck. And just because I said I might be filing bankruptcy, they had me repoed.
Wow.
I had my tools.
They did that to my wife when I got a different job, and then we actually opened an account with a bank. Let's just say that. And they kept on depositing my check into someone else's account. And my wife said, I can't make my payment yet. I have to pay my family first. And they took that as we're going to take your car. And they repossessed it the next day.
Wow. Well, here's something that'll make you laugh. If you want to hear something, I'll be careful what words I use. But on a job site for years and years, people would hang signs.
RCCNC. We'll see if the critic in the back agrees.
It could be a little tighter, but it'll work. It'll do. It'll do, pig. It'll do.
It does have heat shrink rising, Phoenix. It's practically all heat shrink. It's like not, and not. So you won't be able to really bend it anywhere, but I mean, so here we go. Hope they have it wired right.
All right, I'm interested now, Jerry. What was the story that you have to be
well,
careful?
The first thing that's real mild on stucco buildings, whenever there's a gap in between the panels, they put this round foam in called backer rod. It's like styrofoam, and they fill the joint and then they caulk over top of that. Well, people would make a tail. They cut off a piece, put a wire on it, and you walk by with your tool belt or something, they'll hang it on the back of you. You look like you got a tail. Well, one worse than that is people would take cardboard signs. When I worked at Bellagio, carpenters, laborers, whoever would take signs, write something on cardboard, and they'd walk up to you and, hey, how you doing? They'd slap you on the back. Now you've got a sign on your back and you don't realize it. Well, I went to the credit union one time after work to make a truck payment, and people were looking at me funny in line. And the guy behind me tapped me on the shoulder, and he goes, "Sir, yeah." He goes, "You've got a sign on your back." I said, "What does it say?" He goes, "Oh, it's really disgusting." So I pull it off. I read it. I didn't look at anybody else in the line. I done my business, and I walked out and kind of ignored everybody. Now, let me cut out some of the key words here. But it says, "Hi, I just got butt blank last night," is what the sign said. And, of course, it wasn't true, but it's just that I had that on my back all the way to the credit union. So it's kind of like, Bubba bent me over last night. It's kind of what it said. Anyway, and then another time I was giving a carpenter friend of mine a ride home, and this one truck kept pulling up alongside of us, kind of smiling at my carpenter buddy, and he was getting all pissed off about it and wanted to fight the guy. He was getting so mad about it. Well, the next red light, he jumped out, ran around the back of my truck to make sure I didn't have a sign on my truck, which I didn't. But that's what he was thinking, because that's back when all this was going on. So
RCC, back in the day, you're right. Soldering Dean's connectors do suck. And this was the first one that I ever did soldering. And that was, I think I was a teenager at that time. Because I did an adapter to go for charging. And actually, I'm using it today still. But all right, so got this all done, and then all I have to do is wire up the motors, and my electrical is done. Now, eventually, I'll merge these two switches together.
As long as you don't CR6 it, man, you'll be good.
What? Who?
You.
Who? Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see you test it. I want to see you plug it in and test it. I want to see nothing happen and it go perfectly fine for you.
That's how you really feel, Jerry.
Well, no, I don't want you to see have my problems, because I just killed my stream for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to build everything, put it together. I'll talk about it and explain what happened. And, I'm dead in the water. I'm going to take this apart tonight, probably, and I'll rewire the motors with heavier gauge wire. And I'll explain what happened. And
that sucks, though.
Those are really good looking gears, man. I got to get me some of that carbon.
Yeah, it's
actually, before I take it apart, I'm going to try to do what Tripod did. I'm going to try to leave them in there and resolder them.
Those are nice.
To save me from tearing them all
apart.
I
said the prettiest parts you'll never see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the best, people, as someone said on the channel, benchies are just to make you to try to upgrade more, right? That is, and that was out of this.
Where did the name Benchy come from, Tripod?
I have no idea. You have to go onto their.
It's a bench test for your printer, so it got the nickname Benchy.
Oh, okay. I got to take this apart. I had to fish the wire through first and then take it apart.
Oh yeah, I want to try that Atomic CF PET G. Next time I order from them, I got to get some.
It's definitely my next purchase from Doesn't print a solid sell atomic as well?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think they do. But atomic, I've seen nothing but great result.
Maybe because I think all that printed solid. I think printed solid only does PLA, so they probably do have other stuff.
Yeah.
Can I talk about politics kind of for a second or no?
No.
It's about if something happened with the police recently. Can I talk about that?
A little bit. If I'll let you know if just if
I just wanted to give my opinion and reaction.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, or I wouldn't say it.
Okay.
I'm
that
very.
I keep my stuff separate, but go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I'm very happy the cop got convicted, but think of all the people that are upset that they never got to go get free tennis shoes and TV sets because he was convicted. Because if he would have been not convicted, they'd be rioting and looting and never be getting free shit. So now that he got convicted, they never got to go riot and loot and break in everywhere.
Well,
because I'm sure there were plenty of people that were looking forward to doing that can't do it now.
I'm just thankful I was not on that jury. That's all I can say.
Anyway, no. Yeah. Did I say anything wrong? Rising Phoenix or RCCNC?
That's the wife and I talked about it. I said, "Oh, why am I putting this? I was going to put that in. What am I doing? No, you are garbage." No, it's I said I was on a jury selection once, and at least it was a clear-cut case of fraud. It wasn't the guy's. Yeah, he was going to go to jail, but you probably get off early.
That's a bit off color, Jerry. Didn't need to go there. Okay. All right.
Yeah, well, curmudgeon. You don't have to print slow with Pet G. You just need. You can print Pet G fast. You got to do it really hot, and you got to be really dialed in. But I've been able to do with just testing, not really running out full prints. But I've been able to put down a first layer of Pet G at about 80 millimeters a second.
This was at 80
on that. That's TPU.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's on that. And then now I can run with a little bit slower first layer. I can run Pet G up to about 90 millimeters a second.
Yeah,
but it's hot. Yeah, it's hot.
This is what happens when you're printing it up. I mean, it looks good on here, but it gets really stringy on me. That was
you gotta get it. Yeah, you gotta really test with it, and then stick to that one. You pretty much stay with that one brand, that one type for that setting, and then you just have to feel it out and tune it in for each roll. But yeah,
this was when I was doing it at 90. It's still not that bad, but it was. I mean, it would clean up, but this is when I lost power.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So let's go.
Now you did your TPU at 80 millimeters a second?
Yeah.
I've never run it. I've never tried to run TPU fast. I guess usually because the parts that I have needed to do have been pretty
Jason,
small.
That was done at 60.
Oh, okay. Well, even still, that's a pretty good speed for TPU. Because I usually run TPU at like maybe 30 or 40. So.
All right, I'm gonna try soldering this motor in place on this side. I am just not looking forward to this part at all.
You shouldn't have bolted your body on the lower part of it. That way you can put all your electronics in there and you can work with it better if you leave it like this, in my opinion. You can get all it done and then set it on.
Yeah.
9 millimeter perimeters, a 30 millimeter infill, first layer PLA. Wow.
All right, let's give this a try. I'm just determined. I may not get a camera shot on this one. Though. I think that was also another problem. I was like, okay, let's try to get in camera shot, and I'll probably show you the before and after instead.
Nice. Yeah, I've got this this print running. It's either 120 or 150. I forget what I sliced it at. I don't know, but yeah, and that's PLA.
Yeah, somebody had asked me on my video when I printed the skull, how long did it take? I don't know. I just hit go and leave it alone. It's done like 8-10 hours later. I don't time them, and I don't remember what it said on the screen.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, if my first layer sticks, it's a success.
Just walk away.
That's it. Yeah, if it's a little too low, a little too high, if it sticks, it's a success. The rest of the print will be fine.
What was that hole for there in your counter there, your desktop, John? Did you
So this is a bench for like woodworking.
Okay.
And there's pegs to hold pieces in. And that's a pain when you drop a screw and it goes right through it into the drawers below. This is a Harbor Freight workbench. They're actually really sturdy. It's just those wood dowel holes are a pain in the rear.
You can 3D print a plug-in for that.
Yeah, it's true. Darn Windows.
Old curmudgeon, you got to go for that 6-minute benchy, like that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that are trying that now.
So, yeah, I saw somebody got it down to like 5:45 or something like that. It was ridiculous.
And some of these benches are looking pretty good.
Now that 5-minute benchy, 6-minute benchy, they don't look great. They're all there. It's a whole. It printed complete.
Yes.
Is it beautiful? No. It's all there though, and they printed it at whatever 550 millimeters a second, and it just runs fast, and it's cool. I want to do it once. I don't want to do it like all the time, not like all my prints, but just do it one time. I just want to know I can do it. Yes, on an Ender 3, somebody has. Somebody put out a video. I don't know how recent, but fairly recently, I suppose. They did. It was like a 7.5-minute benchy on the Ender 3. I think they had it running Clipper. Anyway, yeah, because it was funny. I think the title of it is like "Bed Slingers Are Slow?" ? Or something like that. And I watched it. It did. It printed. It printed fast. It was like 11 minutes, I think, maybe, but it was fast for an Ender 3.
Layer issues and globbing your nozzles too close to the bed.
Well, not necessarily. That's first layer though. I don't know if Pagan Wizard means adhesion on the first layer, or just like layer adhesion issues in between as your print is going up. Oh yeah, no, curmudgeon. No, no. Yeah, they get really, really bad when you start getting way too fast. Yeah, I haven't seen a good one yet. But when I start seeing good ones in 5 minutes, but it's good they're pushing it though. I mean, that's without trying it, we'd never get there.
Yeah, and I forget who said that on my one of my streams, or said benches are just made for you to dump more useless dollars into your printer by printing it. And I kind of agree, because it's like, but it helps. It also helps tune it if you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you could be just throwing money at it.
Sure.
Yeah, that bottom plate right there that he has that's white, that's the one Sam was wondering, why do I need this? Because it holds on the outside cover. He didn't realize that at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the extension to give you some place to screw that plate to.
Yeah. And all this, my screw package
Nice.
came in today.
Yeah, I think I printed a benchy once. or twice. I have one. Yeah, there's that 150. It was just the one that came with that printer, so I just ran it. I think I did one on the Ender 5 Plus. Yeah, I did. I did one on the Ender 5 Plus.
Well, I want to get going, guys. I got a lot of things to get done, so a lot of work.
All right.
Things to take apart
Thank you
here.
for coming on, Jerry.
Thank you, everybody, that give me your opinion in chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Jason and Tripod.
Yeah, all right, Jerry. We'll see you.
See you tomorrow on the live stream. All right,
Yep.
bye.
Gary, that was me. That my lazy Susan blew apart when I flipped my egg bot around and it landed improperly. and unfortunately. But the magnets that held the dome to the Lazy Susan, they never split apart. Those things were solid, way too strong. In fact, I remade the dome, and what I did, and there's 6 magnets. I took 3 rare earth magnets and then 3 fridge magnets. So if it ever happens again, hopefully the dome will pop off instead of ripping the thing in half.
All right, got one on. This is not easy. But
Tougher material. Well, it was PET G. I think it's just the way that it's designed. There's a little bit of play between the 5mm ball bearings and the channel. And that's all that keeps it together, is just the curve of those ball bearings. I don't think it was really designed to have been picked up and thrown down in the driveway.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Otherwise, it's very sturdy.
Yeah, it's got a channel on both of the pieces that the curvature of the ball bearings that keeps it in.
Yeah.
So it's really cool if you think about it. But yeah, and in fact, I can see it shattering it.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, it's solid. It really is. It just really got I was bad. I was being bad. I was misbehaving, and I broke my toys. Oh man. Well, I think Jerry's got the right idea. I need to go eat dinner.
Yeah, I haven't had mine. I'm gonna probably end it anyways.
Or lunch.
Yeah, I haven't had
lunch either.
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm not a lot thinner working from home, because I just usually have breakfast. Yeah. All right. You know what? I'm gonna call it. I appreciate everyone coming on here. So, and hey, I'm here. It's just not my hands.
Whoa! Go back to the soldering. No.
Well, yeah. Oh, you just ruined the stream.
It's so bright now. What? Oh, sorry.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks for helping moderate there, Jason.
Sure.
I totally appreciate it, because I just had I have like all the scanner equipment and stuff over here, and so that's my solder reflow station I set.
Oh yeah. I think you showed us that before. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I can't wait until this garage is just done and remodeled, and then I'll have a monitor hanging from the ceiling and stuff. It'll just be a lot easier. So, but thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you on this live stream tomorrow, hopefully, and maybe I will have a functional robot, maybe. We'll see. So, or droid. So, but
taking
at least
bets over on Jerry's page, on Jerry's channel.
Yeah. Hey, at least the goal was achieved. Lots of connectors, and they actually came out okay. All right, we'll catch everyone later. Thanks for hopping on.
Good night.
Let's see here. Oh, that was a private chat, and I'm going to kick ourselves out.
I don't know how to do it.